Oh, hi, you guys, and welcome to another episode of the Dead Mountain. The guys are just getting ready in chat right now. I've got some lovely little plans for the evening. Nothing too traumatic, I don't think, but then I always think that. So, I'm just going to test the game and title before we get going. I'd like to think the dashboard worked okay. Someone just cut 2 minutes. I can add it in if you like. Where is it? There you go. Whoa. There you go. Anyway, yeah, it looks like the title and game have updated properly, so awesome. How you doing, Rumbud? What's cracking off? The guys, I don't think they can see anything coming, but let's talk about what we're doing this week. So tonight we're playing some, hey, Geeky Tea Party! Tonight we are doing some, Dead Mountain, of course. Tomorrow night I'll be doing another creative stream where I'm going to be going through the sort of technology that I want to put in my new campaign in the new English styled world. And on Wednesday we are looking at doing a sort of semi-secret special Valentine's Day one-shot. Which, should be a lot of fun. So I'm looking forward to that too. In that one shot will be Alice and Ali, at least. As well as that, we'll have Kienna from the Encounter Roleplay cast and Alex, who you may have heard when we're playing Overwatch together. He's new to online roleplay games. Well, he's new to online, but he's not new to D&D. So I'm really looking forward to that. Anyway, it's coming up. We've got about 15 seconds, so I'll go and get the guys from chat, and we will carry on from there. And guys, we are live. My eyebrows? Hang on a minute, you're really quiet for some reason. Try now. Oh, that's because I had you muted. There you go. Good job I figured that out before we started.
Me? You had me muted.
No, I had everyone muted.
Yeah, he doesn't like us. I know.
I know. How rude. How rude. Okay, so let's go round. Who wants to do the update today of the last session?
Ali's the only one who remembers.
Ali's the only one who remembers. Yeah, well, Ambly might remember the ending, I'd hope.
Yeah, but shouldn't we start at
That's
the...
what about...
Why should we start at the end? Let me know when we're at the end and I can fill you in on that.
Well, I mean, like, after the last session, you guys spent an hour talking about it, so I'd be surprised if you guys don't remember. Anyway, let's go around first. So, first of all, in the top left corner, we have Edmund Silveroak.
Hello.
Hello, Ed. I would like you to introduce yourself and your character, please.
Yes. I play the gigantic half-orc gladiator. He's prone to throw hobbits around, and everybody loves it.
Yep. It's happened more than once.
More than once.
This is true.
It's my key move. I don't know.
Am I right in thinking that he's pretty much the only one as well who's accepted the mantle of Champion of Light? Like, everyone else isn't really
He's quite proud of
that bothered about it, but you're quite...
But I'm not sure if it's a joke thing or a serious thing. I'm not sure if he believes in it or just do it for fun.
Excellent. That would explain why he's so blasé about the whole thing. Brilliant. So then next we have Ali.
Me?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Hello.
Oh, hello. I don't know where I am. My name is Ali. I play
Bloody hell. I play Dwale, the halfling barbarian. We've been through a lot, so I'm just going to do a really quick sum up with bless her character. She's currently undead. Her mother was thought to be dead, but now she's not. So she's kind of in this halfway point where she doesn't really know what to really do with her life. She just kind of wants to not be dead as soon as possible. And like we just said, sort of the champion of Light Mantle, she doesn't really want anything to do with it because she doesn't. In some way, she doesn't feel like she deserves it. In other way, she doesn't want the responsibility that title would come with. So yeah, that's her. So she, at the moment, she's quite better. She's quite grumpy a lot, but she does care a little bit.
Just a bit.
Just a bit.
So then let's go top right corner to the beautiful waifu. Hello, Alice.
Oh. I play Rosie, who is also a halfling, but I'm a ranger. I guess in general, she's quite happy-go-lucky, quite bubbly, feeling pretty upset about having to kill like her fellow halfling. Still feels pretty guilty about it, but trying to move on from there and just maybe rebuild the friendship. I don't know, maybe, hopefully. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's happening. But yeah, she's mainly sort of just quite a happy, bubbly, talkative character.
I mean, it's not like anyone's trying to split the party apart or anything. I mean, you guys, there's no external forces acting on you at all. I mean, just you guys, right?
Yeah, go on.
And lastly, but certainly not least, Ambly, how are you?
Hello, I am excellent, brilliant, awesome, as always.
Fantastic.
I'm playing Runeberg. That is a druid beastling, and he is kind of usually a relaxed person, I assume. And last episode, if you want to call it that, he actually got to meet his old friend again, which is kind of a weird situation, just because first of all he arrived in a I think a black cape or something, that in the future telling card you could see Rune whisper into someone's ear, and there was a dark influence of some kind. So that is suspicious. And it's also a bit suspicious that he arrived on the wagon that was ordered by the evil, I assume. We don't really know who ordered it or where it's going. It's gonna take us to was it east? Or...
Yeah, the southeast.
South, was it? Or was it southwest?
Southeast.
Southeast, because I was looking at the map.
Mm-hmm.
So that's gonna be interesting.
So, Ali, it sounds like you want to do the recap.
Oh, if I must. What we thought was supposed to be quite a nice chill session for us to recuperate after running from a giant volcano in the previous session. We started off all nice and chilled, like, sitting around making sure our gear was repaired, having a nice hot meal. And then it got a little weird. When we tried to get some sleep, Rosie and Volta found that a sort of a dark presence would creep up on them but then the minute their eyes shifted and their focused on the darkness, it would disappear. And so they sort of tried to entice the darkness in by not directly looking at it so they could see what was going on. Meanwhile, Dwale and Runo had a lovely fight in the storage room because Runo desperately wanted his glass of water. Like, he was willing to kill for it, and in some ways he did. And we had to battle a sort of a giant ball of slime that suddenly appeared out of the taps. And then as we were leaving the room, suddenly the demon lady that attacked us as we were heading down the mountain appeared. And just as Runo went to attack the lady, it turned out to be Edgar, this lovely little boy who was sort of our sort of servant, little runner boy, so he'd run and get us things for him. And then as we all got together, we noticed some things weren't acting up. Edgar was telling us that one of us had asked him to summon a wagon to take us somewhere, even though none of us had said so. There were lots of mentions. One of Edgar's old friends, who's been with Edgar for a while, noted that the boy has had quite a traumatic childhood. He's spoken about the darkness dancing, and so we've come up with a few theories about whether or not Edgar's possessed, or whether or not we should trust Rosie's brother after all. If he isn't what he seems, is he really Rosie's brother? And just as we were to find out when we decided to leave the cave system, actually come up to the surface, Ambly, if this is your little bit.
Oh yeah.
And past it.
Yeah, I mentioned it.
Yeah,
but yeah,
pretty much brings us back round full circle to your friend.
Yeah, it's my friend.
In a dark cloak, on a wagon, saying, oh, Reno, is that you? It's me, Foedal. And that's where we'll kick off.
Okay.
Okay, great. Well, Bruno is gonna start by jumping over him and giving him a nugget. Like,
Oh, blimey.
Wrestling down.
Yep. And he's like, what are you doing here? You're not. No, you're not the champion of lights, are you? No, you guys. Bruno, what's going on?
You will not believe what I've been through the past few days. How's your mother?
Yeah, she was pretty good actually. She's pretty good. Yeah. No problem at all with all the stuff that's been going on. She's been absolutely fine. And yeah, it's been great.
What are you doing here? What? Who said what? Huh?
Well, when my mum was all right, I just left her to it, and I came back and I was looking for work again, but there was dark army everywhere, and I ended up being collected up by these escutcheon-like types.
Oh, okay, but who sent you here?
Oh, one of the runners from downstairs. What was his name? Older man, like Albert or Alfred or something like that.
All right. Yeah. Runa turns around to the group and said, "Oh, everyone, this is my good old pal." And I gave him a pat on the back. Still want to hug him.
Yeah, and he's like hugging back, like.
Hi. Like, probably quite confused over what she just witnessed. Like, hi.
Toodles.
Hello.
And so behind you is young Edgar, who's followed you out, and he's been slow because he's carrying like all the stuff that you've left behind. He's like carrying all of it. He's like, "It's all right. Alright, guys, I've got all the stuff. Did you need all this?" And it's like, it might not, if you didn't leave anything, he's picked up things that you might have wanted, like chairs you sat on, and just anything. Like,
How big is this kid?
he's only little, but he's like,
3 at a time.
Oh.
Rosie, I run over and I just start taking bits off of him.
"Oh, no, it's all right. I can carry him. It's my job."
You got any money?
It's okay.
Have I got any money?
Well, for our... I'm joking, Edgar. Oh, you're so sweet. It's just a little joke. I pat his head.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I've still got the gold pieces you gave me.
No, you keep them. I told you, they're for a rainy day. They're to treat yourself.
If you want them back, I mean.
No, you keep them.
Oh, thank God, because I must admit I did spend a little bit of it.
What did you get?
Well, I asked. Probably best I don't tell you really, because I went and got.
Did you buy some of that drink?
Didn't you?
No. Well, he wouldn't let me, but he did let me have some of his special brew, and it didn't really taste very nice. And he sort of trails off. And he says, "Anyway, are you going to need me on the trip, or can I stay here?"
I think it would be safer if you stayed here.
Yeah, you stay here, little kid.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. It's just I'm like assigned to you guys, so if you wanted me to come along, I could.
No.
I think it's a bit too dangerous for you, Edgar.
And he's got like a little like basically a kitchen knife, and he's like, I bought a weapon just in case I can be useful.
Put that down. I sort of take it off him. I'm
Put
like,
that
no.
away unless you hurt yourself.
No, you as Edgar, do you know how to fight?
Well, not really, I guess.
Then you can come with us when you've learned how to fight. Is that fair?
Yeah, I
Your
suppose it
special
is.
job is to keep an eye on the place whilst we're away.
Right.
Because we need you to protect it for us.
You mean like I'm defending like the king?
Yeah, you are.
Oh.
Well, this is gonna be interesting.
All right then.
I'm jumping up on the cart.
he's
See you,
fucking
kid. Can I sort of give Edgar an awkward pat on the head and be like, "Don't forget, you're looking after stuff whilst we're away," and I was sort of like, "Good job," and I just sort of go and hop on the cart.
Bruno's
And like a proper running jump because I'm assuming it's bigger than me.
yeah, okay. So you get on, and Reno's like, "Are we all aboard then? Are we all aboard?"
Yeah, I jump on at the last sort of at the back and just sort of give Edgar a little wave.
I mean, it's
All aboard.
a fairly long way, but I mean, we should be able to cover it over a couple of days, I reckon. But just like old times, eh, Reno?
Absolutely. Oh, have you? Oh, we can sing to them.
Oh
God.
no!
I need
Oh,
to tell you on the way everything
Oh,
we've been
gee.
through.
oh
Right,
no!
you're not gonna believe it. You're not gonna believe it.
And Reno's like, "Oh yeah, do you remember that time? Do you remember that time way down in that bar when that orc got really funny about you being a tiefling, and we got out of it by singing him a song?"
Yeah. Oh, it ended up with us three smoking the entire night. Oh, it was great.
I just
So, who are you again? Like, and I point to the gnome, isn't it? A gnome?
No, this is a human.
Yeah.
Is it?
No, it's actually a half elf.
Half elf? Yeah, that was
Half
it.
elf.
Yeah.
well, apparently.
Whatever you are. What are you wanting me?
I definitely looked up all my notes before this session.
Oh, there's Mr. Half Elf.
Yes. Okay, so he's a half elf. And he sort of like kicks off the horses, and before you know it, you guys are making your way southeast down that long road from Bleak Post down to Gareth's Hold, as you are now on the surface. On the way, you guys, well, you've got a lot of time to chat, basically.
Okay, let's just assume Runa's told everything about the trip already.
We're not going back into all that.
Especially if we don't even know what species our friend is. Rosie just sort of sits on the edge of the cart and dangles her feet off, just watches everything as she goes by.
I sort of go and join her and sort of sit next to her, but sort of not that we're touching. It's but just sort of a little bit away. Sort of join her, sort of kicking my feet as we're there. And sort of go. So, you think your brother's gonna be all right?
I don't know. He
Might
doesn't
never know.
seem the same. I don't know what it is, but hopefully I will get more of an idea of it wherever this is taking us, because we're obviously going this way for a reason, and if it leads me to find out what the hell is wrong with my brother, I'll do it.
Well, yeah, this is obviously a trap, right? I hope you all know that.
Oh yes. Well, I
I am
suppose.
prepared, but I think I've seen
nothing
some
yet.
stuff now that
Mm-hmm.
do you know what? I'd much rather get there quicker.
And this Foedal sort of like turns around and goes, "A trap? What? Do I need to be prepared? What's going on?"
Yes.
Yeah, I have probably already told
You should
him
always be
about how Edgar said that that Runo told him to get this and this wagon, and yeah. So I think he kind of knows what's going on. Runo does not have secrets for this man. Just saying.
Yeah.
He is like, oh yeah, that Edgar kid.
So,
Oh, and
I'm
he is
sure he's
asking. He's like asking a lot of questions as well. He's trying to like catch up the last 5 years in as short amount of time as possible. He's asking what you've been up to, how you've been getting on while the army's invading, and of course, first and foremostly, how the hell did you guys become the champions of light? All these sort of questions he's firing at you, like.
Oh yeah, it's probably the big guy back there that's the champion of light.
Probably.
And a small one.
I did notice when he got on the cart, it sort of nearly leaned over a little bit, but yeah, it's that's cool.
But I got this really nice cape.
Oh, I see what you've done there. Have you dipped that in blood? That's awesome.
No, don't worry. It's color, but I like to imagine it's blood.
I was gonna say that looks sick. And he's like Runo, do you still have a good supply?
Oh
yeah.
God, no.
Rosie sort of looks at Dwale like,
Just sort of just
two of them now.
put my head in my hands like this. Like.
Runo gets the pipe and we share it.
Oh.
Share it.
Oh, God.
You know, smoke and
I'm
driving.
stuffing as far back as I can.
So yeah, Runo explains to him anyway as they smoke that we saw crazy dreams and the darkness wants us to go there. So yeah, it's probably a trap, but we got nowhere else to go, and I want to get out of that place. That kid scares me.
I suppose I can't get any more dead, so I suppose I've got nothing left to lose.
That's the spirit.
Like, sure is. Yeah.
Like Rosie doesn't quite always get
So,
sarcasm.
Oh.
And he sort of goes quiet. He's just like puffing on the pipe, clearly very happy to be back in Runo's company. And
Really happy with the pipe.
Sort of waft the smoke away like.
Yeah. Runo also shows him the card of Runo and probably Foedal as well. Is this you?
so you show him the tarot card.
Yeah, show
He's like,
unless someone stops me.
and because he takes a lot of interest in them, and he just sort of like looks at them and goes, "Wow, where did you get these made?"
I have no idea. It was Rosie and Dwale who found them.
And he sort of like, and he can sort of like tell the frosty reception he's getting from like these two at the back. So he just sort of like looks at them, thinks about saying, "Oh, where did you?" And then just like sort of like takes a long drag on the pipe and goes, "Oh, well, they're very cool." And like just turns back again, like not asking the question, like.
Suspicion.
Oh, are you guys doing that whole like secondary smoke thing as well?
Yeah.
Of like,
Like, I'm over the top, like.
Anyone back there wants a taste?
No,
My lungs.
I'm currently using Vulture as a shield. I'm just like,
I got as far back as I could, so.
yeah, no, I'm just like pressed against you, like no.
Huddled in the corner.
Yeah.
So did you get any good loot on the trip?
he goes, "Well, not really. With the war, the sort of the traveling musician gig sort of died with it. Like, you know, there's not. I mean, all the way down the east, we've got nothing. I suppose I could have gone into the Deepwood Forest and seen if I could have found the elves, but they don't usually A, like half elves, and B, like human music, so or tiefling music." And he laughs at that about your old ruse, the new sound. But he says, so yeah, I've just been basically the main reason I ended up with these guys is I didn't, you know, I was running from these dark armies types, and I needed a job, so here I am carting around supplies, and well, now I've been upgraded to carting around the Champions of Light.
Oh,
Ugh.
that's really nice. I managed to get with these guys by being captured by guards. And being their
Not by us.
for,
I want to point that out.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
had nothing to do with the capturing.
We were dragged in on it.
So
Well, you dragged me for a day, so
To be honest, I can believe that the guards are always suspicious of you, Reno. They always just think you're dodgy. I don't know why. He says, taking another long drag.
It's a
Bruno
complete
just
mystery.
laughs and like, yeah, who knows, and scratches his horns. Like, who knows?
The mystery absolutely eludes all of us, I think.
Anyway, for you guys, it's been a long time since you've had a decent night's rest. Like, last night you guys couldn't get really any sleep at all, and pretty much since the mountain, you're probably pretty tired, I would say. In fact, you're probably getting close to getting some levels of exhaustion. And, you know, this is a fairly comfortable cart. If you wanted to rest up here, you could.
How big of a cart is it?
Oh, it's like a supply cart. So, like, even Volta could lie in the bed long ways comfortably.
I think Bruno is kind of in a hype right now.
Mm-hmm.
So
You can keep watch.
I can't sleep.
I could easily sleep, I would say.
Okay, can I, Rosie sort of, do we have like a blanket or like a large coat or anything?
You have your cloaks and any spare clothes you have on top of your Champion of Light stuff.
Okay, well, can I just wrap myself in a cloak? And if Volta has laid down, can I just sort of prop myself up against him and try and sleep, but sort of upright?
I sort of offer my cloak to both of you. Here you go. Not like I'm going to sleep anyway. Knock yourselves out.
I think Bruno is gonna stay up for at least another hour before he like has to like he starts to talk and nod, and
Yeah.
after like an hour he finally falls asleep.
Well, like while you're doing that, like he'll sort of like pass you the reins if you'll take them.
The what now?
The reins of the horses if you'll take them, so you're like steering. And if you'll take them, he'll reach under his seat and pull out a lute.
Okay.
I can't hear the music. I can't hear the
Rosie sort of chuckles when she hears Dwale just like makes a disgusted noise as she sort of like rolls over a bit to be like, okay, let's just try and get some sleep.
Yeah, Bruno takes it, and he wanna hear the lute. He wanna hear the music.
He doesn't play anything you're used to. He just plays some like quite relaxing music, just chilled out stuff.
Okay, cool.
Why do I hear dogs?
Something I didn't notice on the track.
Okay, that's fine.
There's a
I
track
was about
playing.
to be like,
Yeah,
roll
what's the day?
initiative for a big attack by dog.
I haven't got any music playing.
Yeah, same.
It's very low.
On Roll20, check your settings, go to Master Music Volume and make sure it's all the way up.
Alright.
Yeah,
I hear the dogs in my head.
I was gonna say Ali.
The dogs.
Oh, it's...
I hear the dogs.
So glad I tested this before later.
Oh, there we go.
Wait a second before later. Ooh. Ooh.
Then we all knew what track is gonna come.
Ooh. I see you.
trust.
Oh. I
I
see
don't hear
you.
anything.
Still don't hear anything?
Oh, yeah, I think I'm...
Like
Yeah,
I say,
I hear.
in
I hear.
settings.
Kind of.
Yeah, it's... Ooh, stop.
Oh,
Main wind anyways.
There you
Jesus Christ! I was like, the wind.
I think Ambly still can't hear it either.
Yeah, I can hear it.
And some birds.
was that a car?
It's an aeroplane.
Oh, a plane.
No, it's Superman.
Just wind.
And some birds.
Just
Yeah,
wind, just
so-
wind, just
so-
ignore it.
So he's just playing the lute, and he's chilling whilst you're driving. And like when those guys sort of like fall asleep, he looks over and goes, "So are you? You say you were caught by guards. I mean, are they?" And he like lowers his voice, like, "Are they holding?
You not a loot.
Are they holding you? Do you need to get away? I mean, we could do that."
Oh, no, not anymore. Like, I'm with the gang of champions of light or something, so I'm cool. Like, I'm getting treated like a king. sometimes when people knows I'm with the heroes of flight. But you know, I'm not a prisoner.
Oh, that's all right then. And he sort of like sits back against like calmly, and he's got like sort of like got the pipe hanging out of his mouth, and he's just playing the guitar, and he's just just sort of chilling, going, oh, I should probably slow down. I've got to drive for most of the night. I mean, I figure if we could take it in shifts, like you and your friends, is that all right?
Yeah, sure.
That way we can get there a lot quicker, you know.
Yeah, the quicker the better. So I guess Runo's still driving.
Mhm.
Okay.
And while he's like strumming away, he's saying, so what's the coolest thing you saw?
Like through the entire journey?
Yeah, what's the coolest thing?
Oh wow. It's a really difficult question. I mean, oh yeah. The probably coolest thing was when we were on that boat, and Rosie just shot like one arrow and killed like 50 evil people of the army. That was kind of sick.
And at that, he sort of says like, "You guys were fighting the Dark Army."
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's why they'd make you champions, isn't it?
I guess so. I mean, believe it or not, I actually killed some people in the Dark Army. That's weird.
And he sort of like looks at you for a minute, like you're a different person. Like he just has that look of, oh shit, you've changed. Like,
Yeah.
and he's like clearly still the same. Like, it's a shocked sort of look.
Yeah, you know, it's an entire war out there, and I haven't been in the forest forever. I mean, I've been in cages, I've been in underwater, I have been under the ground, I have been everywhere except for where I want to be. Just because there's a darkness that want to do, I don't know, just kill everyone. It's really weird.
And yeah, he sort of like looks like that, and he's like, probably the coolest thing I saw was one of the knights tripping over his sword, but
That's dope.
so I thought you might appreciate it. And
Yeah.
he sort of puts the pipe away and then takes out a quill and a bit of paper and starts writing a letter. You'll remember this from when you travelled with him. He used to send letters to his mother nearly every other night. And he's clearly kept up that tradition. And he just, while you're driving, he just takes advantage of the opportunity and just starts writing.
Okay.
And he sort of says, if you want to get some sleep, I mean, I can take the reins again. I've been doing this a while. I'm used to writing and taking the reins if you want.
Yeah, but you know, you can write your letter and then we can switch when you finish writing. Where is your family now, by the way?
Do you know they're still east? They're still over to the east. Their little shack. It's just a little way east of Foxglove Haber. It's in the mountains, and yeah, they've somehow the army just passed them by completely.
Huh? That's interesting. I mean, it's really close to the Badlands.
I know. I guess it's just so far south. I mean, it's way below the Bleach. But that's why I rushed over. You know, I knew when stuff was going down, I had to get back, and yeah, they're all right.
My family was just gone. Don't really know where.
That blows.
Yeah, you know, it's bad, but I'm gonna find them eventually. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, you will. You will.
Then you will. I see Adam is smiling like, oh yes, you will.
And yeah, okay. So he finishes up his letter, and he sends that crow going off east, and
Oh, crow. Yeah. I keep notes of all the photo animals I have seen. Crow.
Like
Alright.
a bird washing guide.
A lot of information guy.
So when he sent that, I said, "Oh, can you take over now? I haven't slept in, I think, a few days. I'm not sure. I'm touching my beard."
At this point, it's just become a tangled mess, and you've lost all track of how many days it's been. It's like length isn't an issue anymore. It's just trying to figure out where the ends are. Like,
Great.
I sort of head up and I sort of pat Runo on the shoulder, like, "Go on, go get some sleep in the back. You'll be comfy about there."
Like just lies down and falls asleep immediately. He's snoring.
and so, do you go up and sit with Foedal?
I suppose it's better than listening to Walter and Rosie snore. So
I don't fucking snore.
That's
Screw you, Giga.
Just Runo.
so yeah, I just sort of take my seat next to him.
And there is a long, drawn-out, awkward silence.
Yeah. There is. How long have you known Runo?
Oh, since way back when. I mean, we were teenagers pretty much when we met. We met down in a little mining town. I was a musician. I still am, and he like goes to get the loot again. And he's like, "Do you wanna?"
Let's no.
Sorry.
No, it's all right. I just probably won't be good to wake the others. They've not slept for a long time.
Oh yeah. He says, and sort of like puts it back. Yeah, I suppose you're right. You know, we had this gig where I'd play these really, like, different, like, sounds, and where Runo was a tiefling, we used to call them the sounds of the Underdark. And
Oh yeah.
yeah, I mean, if you were around the cities at that time, you might have heard of us.
No. I've got to admit, ever since I sort of rolled up with these three, I've only ever seen cities when I've been with them. Never before.
Oh, wow, deep.
Not really, but I see what you mean. So, where are we going?
And he's sort of like, he's like, well, we're just going southeast. At the minute, we're on the road to Gareth's Hold, and then we'll be on our way down to the Bleach. That's where I thought you guys wanted to go. Down through the Bleach into the Shadowrun?
Yes. Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, it slipped my mind. I forgot God, I think it's, my brain's just awful. Silly
Oh, right.
me. Yeah.
He's like,
But, how long is it going to take for us to get there?
well, I mean, I already spoke to Runo, and we said about maybe, alternating drivers, and then we could probably get there a bit quicker, but still, like, probably
Hey,
be.
I don't sleep. Do you want to go and sleep? Because I can just keep this up until someone else wakes up in the morning.
He's like, he sort of like looks at your hands, which the skin is starting to come away from, and he's like, well, your hands don't look very
What was that?
your hand. I mean, like, and he sort of like shows you his calloused hands, and he's like, I've got riding hands. It's all right. I can hold this up for a little while. He's not noticed you're undead at all. And he sees your like soft little hands, and he's like,
It's, oh,
That conversation.
Ez, you bastard! You threw me off. No, it's in character. Okay. Alright, but just, as I said, I don't really sleep much, so whenever you feel too tired, just give me a nudge. And I sort of just resume staring out into the world, I guess.
Into the void.
and if you're staring like comfortably, he's doing that nervous person trying to like find something to say in the silence, awkward thing, like So how old are you? I mean, sorry, that's a rude question. I
No, it's fine. I'm 19.
Oh right.
Hmm. How about you?
Yeah, I guess I'm about 22.
You guess?
Yeah, it's, on the road, keeping track of things.
Yeah, and I guess with no sun, it's hard to tell what the time is.
Yeah, and I smoke a lot of weed.
I just sort of inwardly sigh, but all you can see is me just sort of go, okay.
That was actually Runo who got me into all that, pretty much.
That doesn't surprise me in the slightest. But Runo's quite a character, isn't he?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. So, what were you doing before you came to pick us up?
I was taking supplies.
Oh yeah? Where to?
Well, it was
Still holding out?
Yeah. There's still like down in Tinstock and A where like the main mines are. They retreated into the forest and they could hold off a bit better using the forest. But everything north of Durgare except for this place is, So I just dropped off a load of like food here, and I'm taking weapons back for repair down there. Well, I would have been until I was getting you guys. There's only a couple of jugs back there. I managed to get some awesome brews off of one of the soldiers down there. Can't remember his name.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What were the brews? Have you got any? And I sort of just give him my best winning smile. I sort of say, oh, it's since I'm not used to smiling. I sort of go, hi, yeah. So, you got any of that great brew? Because I sure am thirsty.
Please let her roll for that.
Yeah, I think you should. Can you either
just bare your
persuasion or a performance, whichever you prefer.
Just be like, alcohol. I will do. Oh god, I'm equally bad at both, so let's just.
I love to roll for these kind of things. They're the most hilarious.
Let's go persuasion. Oh
wow!
Oh, yeah.
On a 16, like he sort of takes both reins in one hand and turns and goes. Thing is, yeah, I really want to give you some. I really want to, but I thought maybe tomorrow night we could all have some together. I've only really got enough for like me and the 4 champions, and to be honest, that was a bit ambitious. I was only going to have it all to myself because I didn't think the champions were going to be Runo, and therefore, I thought that maybe if no one wanted it, then I'd just drink it all myself. But now that I know that you guys are all right, and you're all right, I thought maybe we could all have it together.
We're all right, are we?
Oh yeah, you're all right, aren't you? And he sort of like does like a little. Sort of like a nod and sort of like not a wink, but a sort of like an inclination, like he's going to, like, yeah, you're all right, you're all right. Yeah, sort of like that. Yeah. you're all right, you're all right.
Yeah. Gosh, you and Runo are so alike. God, no, that's fine. If we're drinking tomorrow, then where are we going to be stopping? Or are we just drinking on the road?
Well, I'm hoping that by tomorrow morning we can pass Gareth's Hold, and then we'll be pretty much at the Bleach the next day. But there's a little hill just to the north of the Bleach,
oh yeah,
which is a really good campsite too. So I thought we could stop there and have some drinks.
Sounds like a plan. Okay.
I mean, I was sort of told to come with all haste, but you guys don't seem to be in that much of a rush. So, I mean, I've been walking the horses the whole time, and that seems fine.
Well, I mean, it's such a lovely night. Let's just appreciate it, I suppose. Don't know when the next trouble's gonna come around.
And he's sort of like, his eyes widen a little bit, and he sort of looks at you and goes, are you, I mean...
Am I?
Maybe not. He's like...
Sorry?
He's like, no, don't worry about it, don't worry about it. I mean, you're obviously champion alike, you're very, very, very...
I'm not going to get someone to ransack the wagon if that's what you're insinuating. I don't even know anyone outside of these 3.
He's like, what?
Unfortunately.
Ransack the what?
I
thought you were maybe making a pass at me, not ransacking the wagon. You were saying it's a beautiful night, and there's dangers around every corner, and I thought you. What's all this about ransacking the wagons?
This expression. And then, for the first time in forever, I think she's genuinely. Oh no! No! I mean, not that you're not. I mean, you are attractive. I mean, no. Okay. No. I mean, I'm. It was a joke because you see, I thought you were insinuating that I was going to ransack the wagon, so I made a joke, and then
He's sort of like.
Can I have some of your pipe? You got to do that.
And like,
I'm gonna go there.
Well, I mean, if you want some, I mean, you looked when I said I smoked weed, you didn't look too great. But I mean, if you want some, I mean,
Didn't look too great.
yeah, you pulled, you pulled the.
Oh,
He smokes weed face.
is that a specific face? I have
Oh.
no idea.
Trust me, smoke this for a few years, you will see that face.
Okay, I sort of take a couple of little puffs and then. Alright. Bruno's not wrong. It is alright-ish.
All right.
And then after a long pause, he sort of goes, "So, were you making a pass?"
No, but it's not. That
Yeah,
does
I mean-
not mean.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
just so long as we,
yeah,
just
yeah,
wanted to,
yeah,
yeah. And then he
okay,
just sort of like looks away, like, "Oh, look at that stone."
Oh my god, it's such a great stone.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the best stone I've ever seen. Like, have you
Awkward.
seen a stone like that? Like,
Yeah.
wow. What a stone.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I sort of wish there was more to this landscape to distract. I mean,
Yeah,
to look
absolutely.
at. But
Yeah.
sometimes
Totally.
less is more, isn't it? And that stone,
definitely.
that
Yeah,
stone, that's
Yeah, that stone is just, I just want to paint that stone and just frame that stone. I just want that stone.
Yeah.
You know?
At this point, can Rosie wake up and like really sleepily like have the cloak all the way around her, just shuffle forwards and just really awkwardly like lean over and sit between them like, what you talking about? Like,
and he's gonna like pretty much go like, "Oh, nothing at all."
Nothing,
We're talking about. I
nothing,
mean,
absolutely no. I mean,
stones.
It's just and a
Stones.
beautiful night,
And-
beautiful night in stones. Yeah,
oh, have you seen that road? Wow. And
yeah, that road is just amazing. Rosie, go back to sleep. And I just
Rosie's like looking at them just like, and then looks at Dwale. Have you been smoking? Like,
no, and I get my,
you're still holding
she
the pipe.
looked really red in the face.
I drop the pipe immediately. I
Like
get,
for a dead person, you're looking quite flushed.
and like, he sort of turns around and looks at you like, but he doesn't think anything of it. He just turns back like, and then you sort of hear him mutter like, "Runo thinks she can turn into a bloody wolf. This one thinks she's dead. Fucking what the bloody hell's going on here?"
Yep, we're all so delusional. Yep, absolutely. Yep. And I whip my head round and I give Rosie this sort of look. I get the palm of my hand. I press it into her head and I push her back into the wagon.
And she's just like, like
Sleep.
she's too
Back.
tired to deal with this. So she's like trying to slap you away, but it's not working. And
I'm like,
just fine, like, and then just shuffles back over and just sort of falls asleep, like almost over Volta because she's so like deliriously tired, and and that is where she stays.
By the way, Adam,
Yes.
Runa has probably already said like, oh, we went to this place and Dwale died, but you know, so he probably has already heard that she was dead, but probably didn't think more about it. Same thing when Runa turned into a bear.
Yep.
And stuff like that. So I guess
Oh
he's
yeah.
just like brushing it off.
If you remember his face when you very first told him you could turn into a wolf, it's the same face. He was just like, "Yeah, sure, right. Fucking, you've been smoking hard, didn't you?" You know.
so sort of, that Rosie, she's such a jokester.
Is that like your like I don't know stage name or something? Like
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Dwale the Dying. That's me.
I mean, I didn't know champions had stage names, but
I'm special. I mean, not special, but I'm
I think you're special. I mean,
Whoa.
okay.
I didn't. I mean, I mean.
No. It's wow. Do you see that tree? Isn't that tree great? Wow, what a great tree. I mean, no, I mean, it's not that I don't think you're special. I mean, no, I mean, like I said before, like, it's not that I don't think you're attractive. I just, wow, we have been on the road for such a long time.
Haven't
Rosie's
we?
like half asleep. You can just hear like.
And then he goes,
There's no way she's really
nice.
asleep.
like, it gets a bit like he goes, did you still mind like, do you really not mind driving if I catch some sleep?
Yeah, no, I it's fine. Just yeah,
Brilliant.
And I sort of hold up my little hands and just go get some sleep.
And he literally just passes you the reins, puts his feet up on the front of the wagon, and just pulls his hat down over his head and just falls asleep there.
And I'm just sat there with the reins like.
What does he look like? I don't think you gave.
You should know.
I'm not sure if you ever described him.
I don't think I ever did, to be honest, but I can now. The image I've always had in my head is he's sort of like a sort of mildly tan-skinned, sort of slim build guy. Not scrawny or weedy, but like small build, but very handsome in the face, almost like a lady's face with like ash blonde hair. And what he's taken to recently is wearing like a sort of cap that he wears just slightly forwards, pushing his hair down across his almost across one of his eyes.
Wait a second. Okay, no, that's fine.
Obviously, he's also got on this large, what looked black originally. It's actually just a leather rain cloak.
Okay.
Clearly, he's used to driving through all weathers and stuff.
Because Rosie's like half asleep, she's got her eyes closed and resting, but she waits for like hearing the half elf sort of snoring, and can sort of hear Dwale sort of like little ee, like that, and she just sort of chuckles and says, "I reckon you're in there, Dwale."
Sorry?
You
That's
heard
not
what I said.
I don't even know what that means.
And as you say that as well, he sort of goes, but
Oh god. Okay.
but soon he does fall into a deeper sleep, as do all of you except for Dwale. Dwale, you've got quite used now to passing the hours when other people are asleep. You do
99 bottles of beer on the wall. 99
yeah,
bottles of
you
beer.
do sort of rest, so you're not becoming fatigued in a sense, but you are pretty much awake. Could you roll me a d20 anyway?
Okay.
Oh, no. Oh my god. Okay.
That one.
Roll 1d20. That's not too bad. It's alright.
Yeah, that's alright. Yeah, so yeah, the night passes. The night passes, and it is a good night. Everything's fine.
It's fine.
Yep. Gets dark. You get down the road, and just as the sun's about rising, like Foedal sort of sits up and goes, "Goblin, did you drive all night? You didn't get one of your friends to swap out?"
No, it's alright. Don't worry about it. Did you sleep well?
Yeah, I slept. I mean, yeah, it was good.
Good.
Yeah, comfortable.
Good.
And he's definitely woken up slightly closer to you, but not, like not like he's like more like he was just sort of like falling that way during the night, but he's sort of like now just moving back again. Like, yeah, it's comfortable. And he sort of goes, well, if you want to get your friends up as well, we can.
Yeah, absolutely.
can-
I sort of throw the reins into his hand. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, good plan, buddy. And I kind of on his shoulder, like, oh my god. I sort of-
And he's like, I've got some breakfast. I mean, I can give him some breakfast.
Oh, that would be great. Yeah. Okay. Great. What did I do that for? And I sort of head back in the wagon.
And like as you leave, like he even like turns and looks forward, like, you got this, Foedal. You got this. Like,
so as I head in, I sort of head in and just sort of, because I'm just so okay. Just gonna point out, Dwale has never done this with a boy in her entire life. Like she's lived out in the middle of nowhere with her mother in a hut. This is like foreign territory.
Actually, yeah, that's a very good point
she
as well.
doesn't know what the fuck she's doing. She's like, okay, I know how this goes. Mother
Just
warned me about this. Okay,
You say mother warned me. Probably the first interaction you had with a male getting romanced was your mother, and we saw how that went.
And it was an elf.
And it was an elf.
Just saying.
So anyway, so because of this, I'm just like extremely flustered and just okay, just breathe. Okay, it's completely normal. And I sort of stride down the wagon, and I'm more or less, because I'm not really thinking about it, I give a couple of short, sharp kicks to Rosie and
You just sort of
Rosie.
and
Yeah,
rolls over
Rosie,
again.
Bolter, and Bruno. I just give them all a couple of sharp kicks. I'm like, get up. Breakfast is ready.
Bruno is like breakfast.
Yeah.
Breakfast?
So, yeah, there we go. Yeah, go and speak to your.
Bruno is up.
Go and
Like,
speak to
Rosie's
the-
still got like her cloak like over her head and shuffles across because she's still
Yeah.
quite tired.
Yeah. Go and I sort of look at Bruno and be like, go and speak to your special, your friend. He's doing
Oh,
the
he's
breakfast.
special.
Rosie looks over at Dwale like, hey.
Special, eh?
I just sort of raise my maul from my back,
And I'm just sort of
What?
And I had no idea we were doing a Halloween special this week. Halloween Valentine's Day special. You see, the two are very closely linked in my mind. Halloween, Valentine's Day, basically the same thing.
Halloween, Valentine's Day, absolutely the same.
Well, you get sweets, it's...
You do.
It's Halloween.
Hashtag alone.
I don't get sweet,
Ah,
Hashtag alone. Okay.
and I'm married to him.
this is true.
Step your game up, sir.
I know.
Get your shit together, Adam.
Okay,
So yeah, I just kick
goes forward.
everyone awake and.
I always forget his name. Foedal.
Foedal, yeah.
And just like, oh, morning. And sort of like, starts to find a breakfast.
Yeah, and what you find is enough food for a few days there, but in there are some loaves, there's some meats and cheeses, like salted meats, and like cheeses which are like fully preserved, like they're still covered in mold and paper, like for travelling sort of thing.
Oh, nice.
Can I gather up my breakfast? Like, I've got like a loaf, some meat and cheese, and like, I've got like a mouthful, and I sort of head over and plonk myself next to... I've forgotten his name again. I just can't remember his name. What is it?
I'm gonna write this down.
Foedal.
Well,
Foedal. I keep wanting to call
I'll tell you
him
what,
Frodo.
I will put that in the Roll20 for you.
Yes, thank you, because I keep calling him Frodo. But I,
I
sort of
keep
like
saying
really
Frodo.
like interfering
Oh,
and just sit
okay.
down next to him like with a mouthful and like, so what'd you talk about last night? Like, just
Bruno's
really...
like, huh? What?
Oh no, yeah, Bruno, you might want to hear this.
And he's like, well, and now that you're both there, he sort of like looks around, and he's not really spoken to you at all, Rose. And he's like, he sort of like leans around and looks at Bruno and goes, Bruno, all your friends like this.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, they're kind of
I'm
special.
the worst one.
Yeah, that's the small one that took out like 50 people from the Dark Army.
And at this, he sort of like nearly drops the reins and looks at you like, okay, well that's fine.
Also, I gave Foedal like I probably know what he likes for breakfast, so I probably already prepared and like threw it at his lap, like here.
He's like, oh, cheers. It really is just like old times.
You know it.
And he's a
Well,
completely,
no, the extra crowd
yeah,
for everyone.
yeah. And at this point, he's sort of like looking back, and he sort of like glances back like at Dwale, and he sort of turns back and goes, "So, does she ever sleep?"
No,
No, it's not,
Not
really
anymore.
a thing.
she sort of entered the eternal sleep, and then
She's
she got back, and
nocturnal.
now she doesn't sleep anymore.
And he's like looking at you again, like,
She says, you know, like, you can sleep when you're dead, so there's no point doing it now.
"Well, I
Oh
suppose."
yeah, I did mention. Yeah, she died and came back, like I told you in the story.
And again, he's just like looking at you, like, "Yeah, yeah."
What, Dwale? Can you come here for a second?
I sort of poke. Yes. What?
And I look back like,
I sort of take Dwale and I show him the scar of her neck.
Ow! Would you mind?
Yeah, so to do that, you'd probably have to, like, you're pretty much going to be trying to pull down her top.
Rosie wraps everything up and leaves. Like, it's just I'm gonna go to the back and I'm gonna eat with Volta.
I was going to say, like,
It's not like I'm gonna drag down everything. It's just
yeah, I know, but, like, to Dwale, who is already uncomfortable in this situation, you've literally called her out and then grabbed her top, and I'm not sure she's going to let you do this.
Rosie's left. She's gone.
I'm just
out.
To be honest, I'm so surprised that I don't even. I mean, I try and I grab my top and just pull it back up after I've done it, but he sort of pulls it down so you can see my scar, and I'm just like, what is this how it works?
And he's like, "Oh, that is a really cool tattoo."
Yes, tattoo. I know. I was just in town and
How did you get the stitches to look 3D?
oh, there's this amazing tattooist, and he's just got away with what is it you used to make tattoos? Ink. Such a good guy.
Bruno left
Just blame it on Max.
ass off. He thinks this is hilarious. He's like, oh, a classic photo.
And I'm just sort of
doesn't even want to
rapidly
bother.
elbowing.
Okay, and at this point, he sort of like looks up and goes, "Oh no, hang on a minute, this is the turning," and it's not a turning. The road like goes straight on, but he's gonna take it. He starts turning the horses right
What?
into.
Huh?
And he's like, "No, we're approaching Gareth's Hold and the old quarry, and it all got overtaken by the Dark Army, and I just don't want to get too near it, so we're just gonna skirt round."
Okay, sure.
Sounds like a plan.
I just raise my hand and just smack Runo on the arm, like, don't stop it.
What? You? No, there's no need to be shy. He's a cool dude.
What? No, what? No. And I just sort of take a very deep breath and then just sort of sit with my hands, like, trying to.
Are you
hide.
blushing?
No.
Rosie does that thing that she did earlier and leans forward between you all again, and she's like got like bread in one hand. She's just taking a shit. My brother had a girlfriend once. Honestly, he was so happy. You should give it a go.
I'm
Like,
actually.
he just sits there chewing with like one arm.
And he's
on
just
the side.
Can I
Um,
please let me roll to see if Bruno actually can figure this one out? I'm not sure if he Bruno he's not dumb.
Let's just do a straight insight.
Okay, insight. Insight. There we are.
This is.
Thank you for the follow, Hilrandi.
This
How
is.
do I roll this?
Oh.
You've rolled it 7 times.
Okay, great. Take the first one then.
We'll take the first one, which is a nat 1.
Yeah.
That one.
Oh!
Is,
You have no clue whatsoever.
Oh, great. I was like, ah!
Just scroll up that for everyone in chat. There's the first one. A nat 1.
You could have been like, let's go with the last one that I did, because at least that's
An 8. Like,
let's go with the first
we've even got
one.
an intimidation roll in the middle there somehow. I don't know.
I tried some, I
That's a
I
4.
clicked, and then nothing happened, and then I clicked again, and then I tried something else, to see if it actually worked, and then
So, like, basically, Bruno has an explosion of thoughts and emotions, and then they all just settle again. And it's just you have no idea. You've just confused yourself even further.
After all.
okay, great.
This is
It's good to know.
this is on par being the worst day, night that Dwale has ever experienced. She's just sort of sat there like...
And she's died.
Oh yeah, it's high up there. She's just sort of... don't know what to do.
Anyway, as you skirt around, you rejoin the road, and it's been a few hours. Like after you've breakfasted, it's he offers the reins to someone else again, and he plays the lute again for a little bit. And if you want Runo, you two can do one of your old gigs where you dance on the cart to one of his old like.
Oh yeah, we do that.
And like,
does it like jog the cart?
Oh, in fact, yeah. Let's do it, and let's give a.
Rosie clings on for dear life.
Let's do that, and let's give a performance check as well.
Okay.
Sorry, so what are we doing?
All of us, or just
Nope,
Runo?
no, just Runo and Foedal.
I clicked now. Let's see when it comes. There we are.
Woo!
Okay, so the music is clearly like awful. It's like alternative dirge, like sort of like it's awful.
I sort of lean over to Rosie like, is this what they play?
But
Is this...
I just
Runo
go,
is dancing
Is this
like some
music?
sort of demon, and it's actually like the dancing's quite impressive.
Like the demon she is.
Like the demon she is, yeah, like the filthy demon she is.
He
is. Tieflings.
I also wanna. How old is Volter?
25-ish.
Runa is
No,
the
I'm not.
oldest one here.
Mm-hmm.
Runa is like 32 or something.
And,
So I just want to mention that.
and then...
It's like your granddad like rocking out to like old time.
Yeah.
dad dancing.
Okay, so it's like one of them things where you see like an old hippie at a festival dancing, but they're actually quite good at it, so you're both impressed and confused.
You've probably never seen Runa dance before.
Yeah.
I'm just sort of nodding, like fair play.
I'm still just staring off into the distance.
I'm watching the road behind us.
And every now and again, when he looks
No,
across
he
at
just
Dwale's
now.
way, there's a couple of like happier notes that come in there, and then he just like goes back into the dirge again, like.
Rosie's like, hey.
Didn't know how to play the fiddle.
You continue like this, Runa's probably gonna have to roll another investigation.
He'll get it eventually. Runo will get it eventually.
Yeah, you so badly.
You've broken Ali. You've broken her.
It's just good. This is the make Ali feel awkward section. Does the cart and stuff move around, or like, is it a lot of jumping about? Like,
So off-road, there is a lot more bumping around. At one point, you think one of the wheels might break, but Foedal seems quite confident, or blasé, one or the other, about the whole thing.
Rosie just sort of tries to cling to the side and hope that, she doesn't get thrown off it.
Anyway, soon you get back to the road, and you're now on the road from Gareth's Hold going down towards the bleach, and Rosie will probably start to recognise things as you're getting close to your neck of the woods, obviously being from Foxglove. And obviously Runo will recognise things anyway because you did a lot of travelling. But yeah, Rosie will start to recognise things as well now, and you think he says about the hill where he's thinking about stopping, and as you get closer, you start to recognise where he's talking about, and it's actually quite a nice little sort of like a picnic spot for people heading that way.
Okay. How much would I know? Because before this, Rosie didn't leave Foxglove. So is it knowing from passing by?
It's about... Yeah, okay. It probably would have been somewhere that your father might have talked about then if you didn't leave Foxglove too much.
Okay.
Maybe somewhere that he used to take your mother.
Yeah. Because you've got... So we can see this.
Oh,
sorry.
No, but you've got a feeling that this is going to be the place.
Okay. Rosa, I think I know where. I think I know where this is. I think my dad told me about this place. It's supposed to be beautiful.
Yeah, Foedal and me have been here a few times. It's great.
Oh, isn't it like a hill or something? And it's supposed to be a really beautiful spot. My dad used to take my mum here.
Yeah,
that means I'm not far from home.
Yeah, no, we're not too far away. I mean, it's probably about another day's journey down to get to Foxglove, if that's what you mean. I mean, there's not much else down this way.
What's left there? Have you been there?
Not since. I went round the Shadow Run to get to my mum's.
Okay. And then Rosie just sort of sits back, like.
Well, this is going on. Runa trims his beard.
Just.
Okay, just fix it, you know. Likes his beard. Nice.
So like they stop playing, and again this sort of like quiet just descends. He comes back and takes the reins again. Thanks for the biddy, Joru. And yeah, you know, it's just a quiet journey. This has probably been the least eventful journey you guys have had for a long time, excepting Dwale.
Yeah. Runa is probably like asking him about his journey in more detail, like the last hour or so.
Foedal's journey.
Yeah.
Okay, so he tells you about stopping at Tinstock and that, and saying how different it is from when you was a kid. When he was a kid, sorry. Because obviously you guys started there, and now it's all barricaded and military encampments. He talks about her and A, and even some of the smaller settlements around Macca's Ford, which have still survived because of the Maya. It's almost impossible to get military down there.
Okay.
And he just sort of gives you general descriptions of how things are becoming more fortified, and how really it's a shame that, you know, this war has broken everything up, and he hopes things can go back.
I think Rosie doesn't really not want to think about it, but she knows that she's close to home, and there's a lot of emotions there for that, so she sort of takes herself away from the conversation, almost that she doesn't really want to hear anymore. So she goes and sits at the other end of the cart and probably eats some more.
Okay. Well, actually, as it comes round to about like late afternoon, you have a light snack, but he says don't go too mad, because we'll get to the place around late afternoon, and you get there. You get to this little hill, which if you guys are looking at the map at the moment, you can see the bleach. It's just above the bleach, and on the stream, that is you can see it as well. Where the shadow run is in the bleach, there's a little hill just above it, and that is where you are.
Are we near the stream? Like, can we see it?
No, I said the people on the stream could see.
Oh, I see.
Sorry.
I know, but down there, I didn't realise that if that was a road or a river.
Anyway, he breaks out all of the food and all of the drinks as well, and he starts going around and handing out drinks to everyone, and like saying, you know, well, here's to old friends reuniting, and he holds up a glass, and at first he looks at Runo.
Yeah, hail and well met.
And then afterwards he sort of like when he cheers everyone, he sort of looks over Dwale's way and then looks down again.
Rosie sees this, smiles at Dwale, and goes, "Yes, cheers," and just clings.
I just want to point out that my Dwale's face, bless her heart, has been in a constant state of red ever since. So she's just sort of shakily just holds up the glass and just.
I want to roll again now. Hating looks and Dwale being red in the face. I think that's enough for me to try to think about it.
Go for it.
Okay, thank you.
Another insight.
Insight.
Oh boy.
No intimidation.
Yeah.
Shit.
So this time you detect him looking, and you detect Dwale's sort of like flustered look around. And the penny drops from a great height.
Ka-ching!
Rosie looks at Runo just like.
Yeah, Runa looks at Rosie like while he drinks, he's like.
I see all these. I see all these goddamn looks, and I just stand up suddenly and take them all off my back and go, perimeter, around looking, me, gonna, yeah, and I just sort of walk off with them all and just sort of, basically just kind of keep a little bit of a watch around the perimeter of where we are.
And so Foedal looks at the rest of you and goes, "Oh, I didn't mean to," and then he sort of goes, "It's all right. I'll go and see if I can bring her back."
Yeah,
and he grabs 2 beers and goes herring after Dwale.
Yeah. Can I run after him and be like, "Here, take this food as well"? Like,
He's like, "Oh yeah, brilliant, yeah, cheese,
okay,
yeah."
Tell me how it goes.
Type to calm her down.
And then he sort of clocks that you guys realise what's going on, and he's like, "Thanks, guys," and then runs off after Dwale. But we will first of all stay with you 3 when they go.
When he left, Bruno just gonna say, "I was just about to suggest that he should go and bring her back."
I was about to say this. I would like Rosie sort of looks at Bruno and is just like high five.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. But Bruno goes up for the bro fist.
Yeah.
And he takes another sip. he's just enjoying that his best friend is having a gig.
A gig?
That's what I heard too.
Rosie then grabs another beer and literally just. Oh, hang on a minute. Is this? What beer is this?
This tastes a lot like the beer from I've forgotten.
Brew.
Yeah, his own brew, but it's a slightly different flavour, but you can tell it's from the same brewer, if you will. Like you can tell a brew dog from a.
Do I have to drink it?
Well, you don't have to, but it's
But
right
you
there.
want.
I don't think Rosie will have any beer at the moment. Is there any wine or anything?
Actually, if you look, yeah, there is wine on the cart.
Is that from the same place? Like the same.
You have no idea.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I've just remembered you guys being suspicious about that. Oh yeah, I forgot.
She'll take the wine anyway.
Adam,
Yes.
me and Dwale, we drank again from the brewer before we left. Did we have any effect? Did anything happen that felt strange?
Don't think so. Except for you thinking that Foedal was a dark figure for a second, but no, it's just nothing happened.
Okay.
Nothing weird like the night before.
Rosie grabs a glass and just pours some wine into it and sort of enjoys her lunch, basically. She's looking at the nice view. She's got a lovely view.
Yeah.
And she's gonna have a drink and something to eat. This is probably the most chilled she's been in a very long time.
How about Volta? He's been very quiet. How's he enjoying the chill atmosphere?
Well, he's kind of suspicious that there's going to be an ambush somewhere, so he's just looking out more or less all the time.
Yeah. So you were checking the road behind. Now you're checking out as well. Are you drinking or are you staying alert?
I think he's going to say that actually.
Is there a kettle in the...
I mean, he did
Yeah,
go for
but
it, so
to
but
be
he
fair,
just take a little sip.
It's kind of common to just have a kettle that you can put above a fire, boil the water.
Yeah.
Stuff.
There'll be one in. You've gone very quiet all of a sudden, Ambly.
Again?
Yeah, I don't know what happened.
I put it up, the microphone, and it's probably...
Cool.
Yeah, it's... No. What? Okay, I'm gonna get it closer to my mouth. Is it better now?
That's much better.
Okay, great.
Yeah, but there would be a kettle just like that in his supplies. He travels a lot, so he's got all sorts of things like that.
You can actually see Runa fills it with water and holds it and put a small fire underneath with his hands and starts to boil water. and then he takes like a small leather bag and puts some leaves in it, and then drinks it. I guess from a cup.
So do you not drink the beer as well?
Yes. He let's see. He's probably gonna drink it during the meal, and afterwards, when he's sort of finished eating, he's gonna do this.
Okay. And so, how many beers are left when we come back? I mean, are you guys not drinking at all, or I mean, I can see Runo's drank one. What about Rosie? And obviously, you've taken a little bit because I mean,
I've had a little bit of wine.
You've had some wine.
I've had like half a glass of wine or something. Because again, I want to be alert because I don't trust what's going on. But at the same time, it's been a long time.
And Volta just took a little sip.
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to complete this toast.
I feel comfortable that he's asking about this.
So comfortable, just perfect.
I don't want to say anything, but Rosie, I don't know if Rosie would say this. No, she's just eating it. Never mind.
Okay.
All I'll say is remember the difference between player knowledge and character knowledge.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, Runen wouldn't mind. He's like, I'm gonna have a beer. He knows that it's like there was some weird stuff going on, but he trusts Foedal.
So you'll probably pick up on like Rosie and Volta not really drinking and being alert and stuff.
Oh.
I mean, like they'll probably seem a little bit tense. I think.
Yeah. So, you guys not gonna have beer?
If you want, you can have it.
There was a lot of dark entities, and there was a creepy kid, and we don't really know why we're going this way. I think I'm just gonna be a bit more alert than normal.
Suit yourself, Walter.
If you want it, you can have it.
Sure.
I'll have some of that tea, though.
Yeah, Runa actually just looks a bit happy and gives you the leather bag with the leaves in it.
Yeah,
It would be so suspicious to take a bag from
I'm
her.
now like, why are you smiling about tea? Is this the same stuff you smoke?
Yeah, but so...
No, it's just tea.
Just tea. Okay.
Yeah.
And then she just sorts herself out a cup of tea and like really enjoys it and sort of just drinks it, sips at it for a while. Trying to keep an eye out for Dwale.
Adam, how does the tea taste? I'm not like, is it good?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
delicious.
it doesn't taste too bad at all. So let's pan across then, shall we?
Yeah.
Dwale, you're walking down the hill, and Foedal sort of like runs after with like some drinks and food in his hands. Like, wait, hang on a minute. I mean, I didn't. Why didn't? Look, I've bought beer. Hi.
Oh, hi. Yeah, hi. You. Yeah, I was just, I mean, with all the trouble that we've been in, can't be too sure, so I thought I'd just check out the perimeter, and yeah, thanks for the beer, and I sort of take one and just give it a very large sip, just...
And he's like, well, I mean, if you wanted company, I mean, I could come with you. And...
Yeah, that's sure. If that's, what about your wagon?
Well, I mean, the champions are light at defending it, so I think it'll be all right.
The champions of light. Yeah, those. Yeah, they're definitely the champions of light. Yeah.
And you just sort of like walk off, and again, there's that sort of awkward tension. And he's sort of like just drinking heavily of his beer.
So am I. Like, okay. And I sort of just kind of a grin just appears across my face and go, "Oh, would you look at that? Another great stone."
He's sort of like, looks and sort of like chuckles and goes, "At least this one's surrounded by trees.
Yeah, that's true.
It's got a nice little frame. Trees.
Yeah, the trees. Yeah,
Like a picture frame.
Yeah, you know, tall and strong trees. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Then sort of just keep having a very long swing.
And of course he's like double your height, and he sort of goes, "Yeah, the nice little rock being protected by strong trees. It's like a symbol, or something. I mean, it's like art. No, it's not like art. It's like
Oh yeah.
Do you want some more beer?
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, beer sounds good.
Beer's good.
Oh, pal.
Oh. And
Yeah.
when he passes you another beer, your hands touch for a moment.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
All right.
And I sort of just kind of don't turn my back to him, but I sort of turn away from him and just sort of look around and sort of go, you know, it's actually really weird. This actually used to be what I was comfortable seeing. This was my everyday. Not this place specifically, but, you know, trees and nature and...
Rocks.
Yeah, and rocks. Loads of rocks.
All the rocks.
I mean, you must know, because, you know, you travel a lot, and
It's
weird how quickly things change, you know?
Yeah. And like where he's been talking about how all the villagers around us change, he goes, "Yeah, it is strange how quickly things change."
Yeah.
And
But, I'm glad to hear your mother's doing well, if that's what I heard, and...
Oh yeah, she's absolutely great. She's absolutely great.
Oh, good, great.
And like sort of like the awkwardness is sort of like shedding now, and he's sort of like drinking a little less.
So,
And then when the silence descends, the awkwardness just builds back up again. It just ramps back up. And he says, "Another drink?"
Yeah, great. Yeah, great. Yeah, perfect. Thank you. I sort of take a couple of large swigs, a lot of large swigs.
And he says, "I'm really sorry about this." We'll pan back over to Rosie, Ambly, and Volta. As the rain begins to descend. All three of you begin to feel very sleepy.
I told you!
I would like you all to make me 2 Constitution saving throws. Even Volta, who only had a tiny sip.
I know what this goddamn music is.
18!
What did you say, roll? Constitution.
17!
No, that was the wrong one.
Okay.
I don't too. Hang on.
I forgot that we get 2 rolls on the first one, so I'll just take the first 2 from the first one of each. So.
Oh god.
All 3 of you slip into unconsciousness.
Damn, son.
Ah, dang it.
Oh, no.
You just sort of like you're standing around talking. The kettle that you're holding falls to the ground as you just sort of like you look at your arms and they just feel really numb, like you've got pins and needles. And the same is true of Volta and Rosie. Your legs start to feel numb, your arms feel numb, and then you feel that numbness sort of like creep up your body towards your head, and as you do, you just fall backwards.
Yes, if I start to feel that, can I actually like scream to Foedal?
As you begin to cry, the sound dies in your mouth.
Okay, crap.
Would you like to try any magic?
Yeah, absolutely. What do I have? Yeah, I actually want to use my the thing I can't pronounce. My first spell that lets me sort of create loud sounds.
Oh, thaumaturgy.
Yeah.
It's really strange. It's like the magic is right there, but it's just behind a glass wall.
Ah. Okay.
It's the first time you've tried to reach it and can't, and it's literally like pushing against, like a bit of plexiglass, like you're pushing against it, and it sort of like bends a little bit, but it's pushing back against you, and you can't do anything.
Can I try hard?
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
And as you strain, make me a... What's your spellcasting ability?
Where can I see that? Is that spells?
On your spells, yeah, it'll be at the top.
Yeah, 15.
No, what is it?
Wisdom or intelligence or something.
What?
Like wisdom,
Wisdom or
intelligence? I can't remember for
wisdom.
Wisdom. Can you go back to the main sheet then? Can you make me a wisdom saving throw?
Yeah. I can.
Just don't nat one. Yeah, okay. You're okay, but you can't beat the barrier.
Okay.
And you fall unconscious. We'll pan back over to Dwale and Foedal. And Dwale, you are now in Foedal's arms as you too are falling unconscious. Which is a very, very surreal feeling, as you have not been asleep for a long time. And your body is literally shutting down on you, even your brain.
Oh god. Can I do anything? Can I like cry out or try and like press my hands away or?
This feels a lot like when you were dying.
Shit.
Probably close to that.
Can I cry out? Can I try and like struggle at all or no?
You've drunk a lot of this poison. What you do see before you fall unconscious is Foedal pulling a small vial out of his coat with a little purple liquid and drinking it. And puts it away again.
Asshole!
And he picks you up and carries you back up the hill and lays you on the cart with the other downed Defenders of Light. And he picks all of you up and puts you on the cart. He takes a long time with Volta. He basically like ends up like getting like rocks and like trying to pull you up onto the rocks and then into the cart and like all sorts of things. But he does eventually get you up there.
Like as I was drowsy, was I could I have, realizing I was sort of feeling out of it, can I take my dagger and try and put it like basically in my undergarments so that no one can find it?
If you'd have thought to do that before you started drinking, I would have allowed it. And yeah, he puts you all in the cart. He then takes some other equipment. There's actually a lot more than the beer he said there was. He was completely lying. There is tons of this poison in this cart, in this crate at the back. And he pulls out a funnel and another bottle and puts an hourglass next to him and begins riding the cart down the hill.
Oh, like, does he even care that when he's lifting Bruno into the cart, does he like, I regret this, or like, oh, fuck you, bitch?
He looks so torn.
Aww.
Don't ah him.
That's happening.
And as you go down the hill, basically you guys slip out of consciousness and you've got no idea what happens for the next bit. Everyone make me a Constitution saving throw, please. Just the one.
I rolled so good on the first one, and look at this. Look at
God, it's getting
this. Adam, what have you done?
It'll be better.
You ruined my one good Constitution throw.
So, Volta and Rosie, you guys begin to come around first. You can feel the cart moving. And you can hear Foedal.
Without moving, can I see my weapons? That fucking music.
you can't really turn your head or anything. Like, you're in full paralysis at the moment.
Okay. But like I can see stuff anyways.
You can open your eyes, you can see upwards, and you can hear Foedal saying, Milvani, she wanted them up near the dead mountain, and that's where I thought I was to take them. And a new voice, one you do not recognize, says, plans have changed. You will be bringing them deep into the Badlands. Milvani is useless to us.
Okay.
Keep on top of them. Do not let them awaken. And be fast, Foedal. Be fast. And you hear like a magical sort of like... I don't know how to describe it other than a whoosh. As like this, yeah. And he like, you hear Foedal let out a loud sigh of relief before he comes back over, gets the funnels, noticing your eyes are awake, and begins pouring.
Can I quickly react, please?
I want to
You
kill
are-
before it gets to me, obviously.
But
Can I
If I hear him
like
kinda
smack
shuffling
the
backwards.
thing out of his hand and literally just
okay,
push him
so
in the face?
Rosie, unfortunately, you try to do this, but you are undergoing full paralysis right now, and you can't move. So all that happens is your eyes bulge, and you look at him with anger.
Can I not? Can I say anything?
Hold on.
Sorry.
Volta, you close your eyes, and so he goes to Rosie first. As your hands begin limply coming up, he forces the funnel into your mouth and starts pouring this poison. It's not at the moment. Your hands start to move very gently, very slowly. It's like trying to grab a key through a blanket. It's really hard.
Can I sort of go and try and blow it back up the funnel in his face?
You can sort of try, but you start to feel like you're drowning.
Okay.
You have no choice but to either swallow or drown.
Okay. Fine.
Crap.
Can I just sort of? I'm guessing I have very limited movement with my face, but can I just try and like give him angry eyebrow stare, like sort of?
You did
I
me.
can see what you're doing, sort of.
Yeah, you do that.
Intimidation.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on then. Give us an unconscious intimidation roll.
Intimidation. Angry. I'm not intimidating anyway. So. Yes, I am now. I am so mad about this.
And so as
You tell him
Can I
that
just
you-
like a limp arm, like?
and he literally like he's like, I'm sorry, and like, but nonetheless, you feel that potion fill your body again, and yeah.
You could turn him, you could down, right? Oh, I can do it by myself, right?
And next he comes over to Dwale and runs a hand through your hair,
Ass?
and he's like, I'm so sorry. You're probably just about starting to come round now, but you're slower than Volta and Rosie.
Can I also do an intimidation check?
You are too far gone. In fact, you're probably just coming around. You don't really know what's going on. This happened all like...
What?
All he said was, I'm sorry, and the next thing you know, he's leaning over you. For all you know, this could be how it happens. Until he picks up the funnel and begins pouring the poison into your mouth. And again, you have the same choice. Gargle, drown, or swallow.
Can I die again?
We have no wizard here.
Actually, that's a good point. It's just incredibly uncomfortable for you, but the fluid does get down your throat, even though you do try to resist. Next, he goes over to Volta, sort of saying, "Well, we don't want you to wake up, big guy." And he leans over you with the funnel. Can you make me a Constitution saving throw, please?
Hey!
I sure can.
Save us! No! That's not saving us!
Oh,
Oh,
Unfortunately, it's very similar to Rose's experience. Your hands come up limply, and he just sort of like force, and you're stronger than Rosie, but he's like, Jesus, and he has to like stand on your wrists and like forces the funnel into your mouth, and it's like pouring as fast as he can. And unfortunately, again, the effects fall over you. And Runo, he does the same to you, but you don't even come round.
Aw.
You drunk bastard.
This could go on for a little while. To be honest, you probably won't know how long it goes on for.
Quite some.
Don't worry, I shave my beard, so when I wake up, I can tell you exactly.
True.
Hey!
When you have access to your face,
Yeah.
you may well know.
Beautiful, beautiful face.
Until then, however, you guys begin to come round. All as one this time. You begin to come round. There's now a much smaller hourglass, but it's been knocked over.
I sort of half open
no
my eyes and
driver,
suddenly close
right?
them again to see if I can hear anything, and I sort of feel around for my dagger, or if I have anything.
You're not at the stage where you can feel around yet. You can just about.
Okay.
You guys have probably been, like you've been used to just about coming around when you get the next dose, and this time it's like you're just about coming around, but there's not been a next dose yet.
Okay. Can I move my head at all?
You can all move your head slightly.
Can I sort of try and look at the others and see if they're...
Yep.
I'm sort of like, Dwale?
So as you turn your head, you'll notice that you are no longer in the cart.
Do we hear anything?
No, actually, just a sort of soft wind.
A draft.
Hmm.
So we are in a room or in an open?
You are on an open plain. As you turn your heads around you are no longer in the cart, but you can see it upturned nearby.
Turned over?
Oh.
Like on the side?
Yeah, like on its side.
So shit
You-
has come down.
You are not in the Western Lands anymore. The land is black like ash or soot, and as you begin to get feeling back in your arms, you can sort of like pick up like sooty ash that is covering the floor. Make me some concentration saving throws. Let's see who comes around first.
Okay. I'm doing
Not
really
me.
badly today.
Hey, finally a good roll.
Oh my gosh.
Oh shit.
I'm
So-
still
I think
bad.
I won that one.
Yeah. So like Volta sort of like sees the cart overturned, and he literally has the same thought you did. He looks and he goes, "Shit's gone down," and like some sort of battle sense in him just fills your body with adrenaline, and you sort of can like stumble upwards, and you can just see the scene around you where all of you have been thrown from the cart. Foedal's nowhere to be seen. The horses are nowhere to be seen. There's an hourglass in the centre of all of you, but it looks more chance than placed. And as you look around the horizon, you can see 3 mountains with lava at the top.
More than one.
Obviously.
I think.
Can
Rose
I
is
can I
also-
make the other ones to wake up?
You can sort of try, but it's very much a time thing. It just takes a while for their body to
Yep.
for the poison to wear off. It's not really something you can help with.
Yeah.
You can scout around though before the other guys get up.
Yeah. Well, water or food would be nice.
Okay, so as you investigate the cart, you can find plenty of poison, but there is also
Don't want that.
like a small leather water skin with a very small amount of water in it. And as you look around this place, you can't really see any water sources
Yeah.
anywhere in the distance. It's sort of like an ashy desert land.
Do you see any footprints or something like that?
You can see a lot of... do me a survival check on that.
Oh yeah.
Oh. Okay, so basically Volta goes full, like, you know, survival expert. He's down on the ground, he's like licking it, and he's like looking around and like sniffing the air, putting his ear to the ground and all sorts. And basically you determine that the cart has been attacked by a band of orcs.
Sand people.
Well, yeah, orcs, sand people, basically the same thing.
Sand orcs.
You can see a struggle. Volta's been pulled away. Foedal's been pulled away. All the food and any useful supplies have been gone. There's also a large amount of poison gone as well. The poison that was disguised as beer.
Yeah. So there's some beer left, but most of the beer is gone?
Most of the beer... No. There's some of the poison left, but all of the poison disguised as beer is gone.
Okay.
And probably by now, the rest of you, whilst Volta's going around and doing his, you know, Bear Grylls shit, you guys are probably coming around about now.
Okay. Bruno, he just lays on the ground and stares up in the sky. Yeah.
Rosie sort of rolls from side to side, like, ow, like, because I'm assuming we've been thrown from a cart or something.
Oh yeah, you have, yeah.
Yeah, she's literally just like goes to sit up and it just, oh no, and then sort of lays back down again, like, ow, why do I hurt so much? And like looks towards, like, I'm assuming like Dwale and Bruno are side to side of her.
Yeah.
Or,
well,
like,
scattered around you, yeah. But you'll be noticing all the first things that Volta noticed: the ash, the soot,
yeah.
and probably as well mountains dotted about.
Like, can she grab some of the sort of like feel it because she's never seen.
Do I got
like
any sensibility of direction, like north or something?
You can see a long line of mountains in one direction, which you would know is west. You would know about the Black Hills that divides the map, and where the other mountains are dotted around. These are a distinct line. And from that, you could tell where north-south is everything.
Is it the Black Hills that are the lower ones?
Sorry?
Is it the Black Hills that are the lava ones?
No.
The free ones?
No.
And they are what way?
So, like, where the mountains are down the centre, there's probably another mountain in the northeast, one around the middle, and one in the southeast.
Okay. Do I notice other ones coming around?
Are any other ones? Sorry, what?
Do I see the other ones coming around?
Yeah, you probably will see them, like, especially when Rosie sits up and then sits back down again. She'll probably make a little bit of noise when she does that, I imagine.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what Dwale's been doing. She's not described anything yet.
Well,
I have them up anyway.
I sort of sit up very slowly and just sort of, oh my god, sleeping is terrible. I'm never doing it again. Oh god. And I sort of sleeping, and then I just kind of remember back to, and then wait, hold on, you would what? And then I sort of kind of look around, and then quickly my brain does the math, and I just kind of stand really, really like a fucking statue, and I'm just kind of like, well, okay.
You should never trust boys.
Elf.
Especially elf boys.
And I'm just sort of a statue, and the whole me smiling and having a good time for once and actually relaxing, nah, that shit's gone. So I'm just back to the usual
grumpy self.
Angry, like, I just take off my I sort of scrabble around to find my maul, which I guess has been thrown somewhere from behind a rock, and I just kind of I give it a couple of pounds into the ground, just kind of venting my frustration a bit before going, alright, where the hell is he?
I assumed I found the weapons, right? Or anything useful?
I just found mine.
Oh, that's a very good point.
If not, then
I would have gathered them together anyways.
I think to be fair, actually, the only one of you that's roughly orc-sized is Runo, and Runo only wears really a robe, so they won't have taken your armour. But they probably have taken all your weapons. Yeah, that's a good point.
Crap. Alright, so I'm sort of kicking the floor a lot and just like, right, where the hell is he?
Well, I would say he'd been dragged that way, pointing to any direction that he was being taken back to.
Yeah. And as Volta's describing this, it's like someone coming along with the code for like a secret message. Like when he points it out, it looks really obvious. Like, look, the broken leaf here, the twig over here, the thing over here. Like, but beforehand it was just a mystery.
Rosie sort of rolls over onto her side and to try and sort of lean up, just like, oh my god, if this is what a hangover is, I'm never drinking again. Like, what was in that stuff?
This is not a hangover.
Poison.
This is something else.
Why?
You've got the great friend, Bruno, you know that?
Yeah,
a
precisely.
really
You got the
great
like
friend.
What the
And
hell?
I sort of give Bruno a very, I'm fucking angry, and I just go,
Yeah,
thank you so much.
Bruno is just still lying on the ground looking up in the sky.
Rose sort of crawls over to him, like, sort of like pokes his face a little bit, like.
He looks angry. Bruno looks. So...
Okay, and then she sort of just like, nope, not dealing with that, and then sort of really tries to get to her feet, like, grabs hold of Volta to really try and like heave herself up. Because
I heave her up.
yeah, like just hot. And just like, thanks, buddy. Like, it just feels a bit out of it.
Don't mention it.
Like, did they leave anything? Like, and she goes over to the cart and just.
Only poison, as far as I can see.
Well, I'm taking some of that because if I find that elf again, he's having some of it.
Okay. So what are you guys doing?
How far can we see any orcs in the distance?
It's interesting you should ask. Could you all please make me a perception check?
Not Bruno. Need the stars.
No, I can't.
Oh, Alice. That's a critical.
Perception, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Ugh.
So maybe
Not my day.
maybe it's the inherent archer nature in Rosie that is just constantly picking out targets, looking around the horizon, just looking for things to practice shooting on. And you see like some interesting dots which look like good moving targets to try practicing hitting things at speed. And you realise they're sort of looping around and getting closer.
Guys, just as she sort of points, like.
She pointing it out, make me see it.
They're getting closer. I can see, and she runs over to the cart. Has any of the cart like broken off a bit? Like, can she grab like a plank of wood or?
We need to hide.
Like a club?
One of the wheels is completely knackered, so you could probably take like a wheel spoke.
Yeah, can I take 2 of those, please?
Yes.
I am angry. I am really annoyed. They ruined my picnic. I've thought for once that I was having a nice time, and
I sort of grab Rosie's hand. No, we are not taking on a whole group of orcs with no weapons or armor. We
don't
need to
mean
hide.
to fight them. I mean, I want something to protect myself with. If they
We need
get
to go and hide first.
Where? We are in a weird black sand desert. There is.
I sort of
Do you want
turn
to
to
bury yourself?
I sort of turn to Vulture and go, right, you're tall. Where can we hide? Do you see anything?
Rosie, with that perception check, you probably would have seen like a cave or something nearish by. It'll be a run, and you might not beat them to it, but
Okay,
there's a
we're
hope.
gonna
There's
have
a chance.
to run. We're gonna have to run, but there is a cave just over there. Bruno, get up. Get up. We've got to run now. We can't even guarantee that we're gonna get away from this, but we need.
I'm
to
off.
now.
I'm gone. I'm already off. I'm
Bruno,
running.
I just pick Rune up and then.
Yeah,
Bruno starts to stand up.
I run off with Dwale, like trying to lead the way because I can see it, and I'm calling back to them, like trying not to shout. But I'm like, come on, like we need to go. and I just sprint towards
Yeah,
the thing.
we're
I
off.
thought we said we all sprint.
And so, Volta, Bruno, do you need carrying or are you okay?
No, he's okay. He's just mad.
Pissed off.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you all please make me an athletics check?
Ooh.
Oh, we all know how good Runa
Yeah, look, we tried to cross a
goes.
field.
Come on,
this time.
come on.
Blame
Shit!
the person.
Come on!
Thank God.
I have +3 on athletics.
I got +7, so screw you.
So, let's see. So, Rosie hairs off into the lead. Runo's running pretty well for a human.
What?
Who's
Human?
Who's human?
Runo's a human? What?
Tiefling, sorry. Humanoid. Sorry, humanoid.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
Streamline.
Sorry, I was trying to drop hints again, but I forget. Wolves athletics is amazing.
I know. It's just Runo has his thoughts on other things.
Okay. Yeah, okay. We'll okay.
Roleplay.
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 That stuff. We do that here sometimes.
Yes. Maybe.
Volta and Dwale are sort of lagging behind.
I blame the poison.
I would blame the poison too.
I blame the poison.
Make me another.
Probably the tea that helped Rose and Runo.
Perception.
Yeah, you guys give me another perception if you look back over your shoulder.
I don't.
Not so much,
running.
apparently.
I will. Just
I
'cause
don't, I keep
I need
running.
to see where the others are.
I keep running.
Perception.
I'm still
You
running.
should have my roll. You should have 14 instead of.
Ooh.
There you go.
So you look back over your shoulder and you can see about 20 to 30 mixed tieflings and orcs in armor that you recognize.
The usual kind of.
When you say recognise,
The army, the Dark Army.
yeah.
This isn't a tribe, this is the Dark Army. At the back is a tall figure riding a strange horse.
A white, a
Add
yellow.
that
Strange about this
horse.
Is
yellow
it a
horse.
pony?
I want that horse.
Strange horse.
Like, is it? It's
Skratkos is a yellow pale horse.
It's not a pale horse, no. It's just, it looks like a horse, but there's something wrong about the way it moves. It looks more sort of like hulking in the way it gallops than normal.
Have they spotted us?
They are charging towards you.
Oh, okay. Right. How close are
Well,
we to the cave?
We need a chokehold anyways.
Or you're probably about 3 athletics rolls away, and if you're good, you'll make it ahead of them.
Just keep sprinting.
Yeah. That's all we got to do.
Let's have the first athletic.
And, like, Rosie's yelling, run! For
Oh,
God's
yes!
sake, run!
There you
Oh,
go.
finally!
I'm
God,
picking up speed.
finally!
There we go.
Yes.
Alright.
Should I also do a...
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, sorry. Oh no!
Oh. Someone is falling over.
So, Runo starts to really fall behind.
Can I grab hold of Runo? Like, come on,
Due to the
keep
fact I'm
going.
coming,
He
due
was
to the fact I'm
so
coming behind, can I pick him up?
good. Actually,
You
yeah, you probably should.
Can, but make me a strength saving throw. How heavy are you, Runo?
Grown up male. I don't
I
know.
love 80,
Grown-up
80,
male.
So you're probably talking about, what,
80 kilos.
80 kilos, I'd say.
Okay.
Make me a strength saving throw. Okay, yeah, you
Oh,
with this-
buddy!
burst of adrenaline, you can
Easy.
pick Bruno up, no problem. And yeah, you continue to sprint. I need another athletic save, please.
Oh, God.
Okay, come on. Bring
Come on,
home
come
that
on, come on.
bacon. Come on, come on, come on, come on.
Oh yeah.
Yes!
Yeah.
Yes! Oh my god, yes!
I got I'm carrying Rune anyway, so I don't know what you're rolling for.
He's
So,
got legs like
Bruno's legs dangling, running away. Anyone looking over your shoulder?
No, I am running.
Due to the fact I'm carrying in Rune, I'm going to say it's gonna be hard, so no.
Hang on, what way is Runo round? Like, can Runo see?
I don't know. How did you pick up Bruno?
some way.
just bundled her up.
I should
So
be-
I'm seeing it as you ran past. You would have just like bundled her up, maybe. So I'd say facing forwards.
I would say, well, I got from behind, right? But I should be able to turn him around, and I should put him on my shoulder. Easier
Yeah.
to carry.
Okay, so like you throw him over your shoulder, and so then can you make? Actually, you don't need to make a perception take at this point.
I mean, did anyway. So it's just...
You did anyway, but yeah. They are maybe about. Okay, let's think metric. They're about 400 meters away at this point, and the
I'm gonna.
caves
Quite alright.
are about 300 meters ahead of you.
Keep
But-
running. Just keep running.
Yep.
And the large figure on horseback breaks through its ranks and starts charging ahead of the rest of them.
As a charge, we are start charge.
No, there's 30 of them.
Not charge them, charge cave.
I thought I could maybe have a spell that could block them, but I don't have any of those.
All I can do is throw berries at them and feed their hunger. And if I turn invisible, that's not gonna.
No.
Just keep running. Just gotta keep sprinting towards.
Hashtag Bambi.
Let's get one
Yep.
more athletics save.
Oh god.
Come on, bring it home.
Dwale, you can roll with advantage for your crit.
Oh, thank
Can
god.
I? Okay.
You've done it.
My-
You've already done it. 16 rather than 5. Good job, eh? So,
And I still carry you, Emily, so.
Rosie, with the nat 20, you go herring into the cave.
I am like Usain Bolting this.
Go.
Like,
This cave is actually a tunnel.
go. I just keep.
There
keep
are
running.
crude torches on the wall.
I grab one.
Lit.
Lit.
No! No!
Was that your
Giggles.
character?
I wait for the others, as in like I'm sort. You stand by the entrance of the
Uh-huh.
cave, like come on.
So the other guys quickly come in as well, and you can see the same thing. This cave is you can still see out as well. This cave is sort of brightly lit by these rudimentary sconces and torches, and there's like human skulls and tiefling skulls on the ground, and so on.
Like, are they still chasing us? Like, are they
Yes.
still very much behind?
As the cave is too large for what you can now see to be a small drake this rider was riding. He steps off and begins to follow you in, but he sort of holds back, waiting for his troops to catch up. He was hoping to catch you before you got into the cave.
Go.
Go. Just go down. Just head
How
down.
far off is he from his teammates?
Oh, they were only 400 meters away, so they were still sprinting. They're probably about 100 meters behind him, so they're like 10 seconds, 20 seconds behind him.
Yeah, I just run. Run down the tunnel.
Okay, you run down the tunnel.
Yep. I got a bad feeling, so. Do I need to say that?
Suddenly, we are saved by a
Like, can I,
familiar
can
light.
I,
We are
can I
not
sort of sense
safe.
if there's, like, if we're getting close to a drake? Like, can I do a perception?
Uh,
That music
Yes,
says
I hear
no.
that.
I also wanna do. Can I?
I have put Rune around
my,
maybe everybody.
moonbeam behind me.
you could certainly cast Moonbeam on the entrance, yeah.
Yeah.
Do
And
it.
also, in traditional Hobbit spirit, when there is a dragon near, can I go invisible, please?
Yes, you
Oh,
can.
Wait.
How long do you have to hold that spell for, though? Do you want to save it? I imagine it's concentration.
Oh, hang on, let me have a look. Sorry. Oh, I can't find it. What? My sheet's done something weird. I can't find it. Don't know what it's done.
Refresh. That's how you
Yeah, I
refresh.
have. It's not liking it.
There it is.
No, you know what?
There we go.
Rune is probably too grumpy to cast
Uh,
a spell.
Yeah.
It only lasts for 1 hour.
Okay, I'll hang on a second then.
And now it's kind of long anyways.
as you run deeper into the cave,
Into the cave we go.
you hear the sounds of a settlement. Sort of snarling cheers almost, and feasting and drinking and just general boisterousness. As you round the corner, I imagine you'd slow down and try and creep a little.
Yeah.
You can see an orc, basically stronghold, where they're all celebrating on their collections, and in the middle, tied to a stake, is Foedal.
Ooh.
Can you all please make me a stealth check?
Oh, I'm gonna be bad.
I'm having a slight problem getting my
Not too
character
shabby.
back to the first page again. Sorry.
You just click on core, baby.
Shit!
Yeah, no, I have. Oh,
Can I
okay.
play dead?
You can see nothing to play.
Let's see. I'm just gonna see what animals I do have. Yes, I have a mouse. I'm gonna turn into a mouse.
Okay.
It's a big 2.5 meter orc.
Can I,
Dipsy.
like, what should I roll if I?
If you turn into a mouse, you won't need to roll.
Yes. Yes.
So, basically, actually no, give me a stealth roll anyway.
Okay. Like if I roll 1.
No, just give me a stealth roll anyway, just a regular
Okay.
stealth roll. So,
Luckily you're a mouse.
this is what
The
happens.
loudest mouse ever.
This is how it happens.
Stomp
Basically,
around.
the four of you come round the corner. Volta and Alice hear the sound first, and they sort of stop and cautiously peek round. But Dwale and especially Runo almost burst around the corner into full view, and then Runo turns into a mouse and runs away. And
I
Dwale,
sort of turned around and just go. Do they see me?
yes.
Can I drag a...
There's probably about 20 orcs down here in various states of partying.
Did I see?
Honestly,
drunk?
I just, at this point, I'm so angry, I just bring my fists up. I'm like, let's fucking go. I'm so...
Hang on.
today.
Volta, you're an orc, aren't you? Or half orc?
Half orc. Close enough.
Can you blag this? Like, yeah, let's get this party started. sort of.
I can try.
He doesn't look like an orc.
Oh, yeah.
Orc-ish.
Ish.
Did I?
But I remember when I first described you as a half orc with tusks and stuff, you distinctly pointed out to me that he looks pretty human.
Oh.
Well, we did have a
I still
tiefling,
got black.
which is now a
black and grey.
mouse.
I still got grey skin, so.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And I would say I don't got the biggest tusks.
But they haven't seen you yet anyway.
Yeah.
They've mainly seen Dwale, and a couple of them are sort of like looking away from the hunks of bread and the ale they've been drinking, and they look over towards Dwale, and a couple of them start pointing it out.
So
I
wasn't able to
honestly,
drag it back.
I can't do anything except just bring my fists up, because if I run back, they'll find Rosie and Volta, so I'm just like, let's just go.
From behind you up the cavern tunnel,
Maybe heard the other orcs.
you hear a voice resound. Foedal! Champions! You think you can hide from me?
I'm not gonna respond.
And
Runo's thinking I'm a fucking mouse.
you can hear...
I'm in the wall.
you can
A
hear them
question.
charging down the
As a
tunnel.
mouse, are you able to cast magic?
No, I don't. I can't cast spells. I can only have mouse powers. Which
Mouse powers.
Oh,
Wow.
great.
Danger
maybe.
mouse.
Danger mouse.
All we need is a penfold.
I think it's pretty much Dragon Age rules. Mice can go through small holes. That's their power.
Yeah, yeah.
Danger
Sounds about right.
mouse.
Otherwise, I would just be a mouse.
Here
And
comes
cat.
the day.
It just stood there like.
In the midst of all this,
You're me.
Foedal looks up once Dwale gets pointed out and goes, Dwale, thank God!
Oh, You.
Motherfucker.
My eyes lash onto his, and I'm like, "You're dead, dead."
Intimidation roll.
Relationship.
I want a divorce.
Can I,
Sorry, I
can I
couldn't
see
hear you.
from peeking out? Like, are there any weapons that they've just propped up around?
No. Their only weapons are on them. There is a weapon rack, but it's behind Foedal.
I'm walking towards
Pretty
Foedal
empty.
as a mouse.
Okay. As you get closer, you will notice that he is on basically a pyre.
Oh.
Oh, they're gonna burn him.
Like a witch burning?
Yeah, but...
Yeah, except he's sort of
You follow
leaning
me.
against one of two poles.
Come again?
He's tied to a pole, leaning against one of two poles.
Can I start to nibble if you got some rope on him? Like, nibbling.
You can indeed.
I do that.
So, what?
If I had no, sorry.
That's fine. We can leave you there. So, Rosie and Volta, you've got orcs in front of you.
Orcs burning us.
You've got orcs and tieflings and dark army behind you, and something else, wherever this person is.
Orcs in front of us are not Dark Army.
They are not. They are in shab, like tribal. In fact, you would recognize this from when you was a child and they attacked your village. Similar sort of tribal gear.
I don't know one orc from another, so I'm just like.
Well, that's racist.
Oh no, I just realized something.
My God, you're right. I'm so sorry.
I just realized something.
What's
Foedal
that?
still got Runo's pipe.
Oh
Gosh
no! Now it's personal.
Now it's on.
Did have.
Did I? Oh, they took it.
He's got nothing at the minute. He's basically naked, tied to this pole. We're gonna put a bit of like rope tied conveniently near things for the sake of Twitch user terms and conditions. But yeah.
Are there any weapons nearby? Or on the way down to the lousy ones?
Not so much. There is a weapon rack, but it sort of is sitting half empty, and it's the other side of the encampment.
Half empty. What's in it?
Foedal.
There's a few weapons. You can see handles and shafts sticking out of it, but most of the weapons are still on the orcs.
Okay.
They're sort of dancing with them.
And they got our weapons on them as well.
Yes.
How drunk do they look? Like...
Yeah, exactly. How drunk do they look?
Not drunk
they
enough.
have been
They're
drinking
celebrating.
beer.
Okay, with because obviously they've just seen the like, what the fuck? There's a halfling. Okay, can I use that almost like surprise shock combo to just dart myself over to where that weapons rack is? I guess it's like an athletics roll if I can run over there fast enough and just grab something.
Run past all the orcs.
Run past all the orcs. Okay. Make me an athletics save,
Okay.
because you can certainly try.
Save.
Oh.
Make me a dexterity saving throw
Today is not my day.
with
guys.
disadvantage.
Saving through giggles.
I know.
So basically, Dwale runs straight towards the first orc who grabs her, and you are grappled.
Can I get one of
Okay,
the
then.
sticks I have
Whack him
and
on
just
his
whack him on the back?
So you're
not
breaking
so-
cover.
Yes.
Don't break cover. Don't break cover.
No?
I
So
would say
your
big
first
I think
answer was
Rosie
yes.
Would panic. I think Rosie would panic. I think
I'm with
runs out
Rosie,
and
so I'm
it's
gonna
just like. In
fuck
fact, no, she
Sharksy.
doesn't say anything yet. She doesn't say. She goes, "Excuse me."
He's ignoring you. He's
Oi!
got her and he's
I'm
grabbed
just-
her. And he's like,
And
I've got
my
more
stick.
meat.
I've got my
And-
stick and I am jabbing him. I'm like, "Oi, I'm talking to you."
I am whacking this guy on his arm. Has he got me around my throat? Like, how is he?
He's pretty much just put his arms around you, almost like a warm embrace, like you might have enjoyed with Foedal. But he's crushing you, and he's like dragging you towards the pyre, ignoring Rosie. Rosie, make me a dexterity saving throw.
I'm gonna charging as well then.
Oh, brilliant.
No one
Saving
messes
throw.
with my friends.
Yes.
Oh, God.
A second orc grabs you, Rosie.
I have my sticks. I am clubbing him either side of the head. How? This could go really wrong. I don't know. If this...
Yep.
I am shouting every curse under the sun.
You
Okay.
can't eat us, don't you know that?
Oh, so could the pair of you please make me an athletics or acrobatics check that can beat a 16?
All right.
Oh, hi.
Oh,
Oh
The pair
no!
of you,
Squirming.
the pair of you are being dragged towards the pyre. Volta breaks cover and charges in, which is probably a good thing because as you do, behind you, what can only be described as another giant, a giant of a man. He's sort of similar height to you in large spiked armor, surrounded by these orcs and tieflings, also come around the corner.
Can I shout? Can I say, stop, stop, we're here to warn you? I'm saying this to the orcs.
Do you speak Orcish?
I'm like, no, drinky, don't drinky the beery. Like,
That's it.
Because that's pretty much what happened so far. You were just chirping at him, and it could have been kobold for all he knew. Like, and
I
he's been ignoring
smash
you.
his beer.
You're grappled.
I'm fighting, so I bite him.
Could you all please roll me initiative?
Oh,
let's fucking do this.
Yeah, let's go with.
The usual.
Woo! Yeah, woo!
oh, Volta.
Bring it
One
on.
who is like the big guy, and he rolls.
A 2.
I always don't roll up an initiative. Fucking noisy.
So it goes Rosie, the Dark Army,
Just the Dark Army.
It's just the whole army. Is
whole army.
Dwale, Runo,
The lousy orcs.
the barbarian orc tribe, and then Volta. So, would you like to try and break the athletic? Would you like to try and break his grip again?
I
Yes.
do. Gotta kick his ass. Hang on. Athletics.
This time beat a 19.
Oh my god! I do it again.
Okay,
I get 2 turns.
no, you don't. I didn't mean you as well, Dwale, but we'll take that for your go. That's cool. Next
Tried.
up is the Dark Army. The Dark Army walk around the corner and they sort of assess the situation quickly. And the large figure sort of grunts in that deep, like, he sees an orc stand up holding Rosie's longbow, her magical longbow. And he's almost repulsed by the look of the weapon. And he raises his hand and fire erupts from under the orc and instantly dies.
Right.
Okay.
The rest of the orcs and tieflings run in and begin slaughtering orcs. Let's see, in this little mini skirmish, half the orcs are looking pretty sluggish from the beer they've drunk, and the tieflings and orcs can quickly take out, say, 6 of them.
Great.
I'm like thumping on the guy who's got me and like, turn around! Forgot like to point out the Dark Army, because is he still dragging me to...
Oh, he's doing exactly what he was doing on his last turn before his next turn. Dwale, you tried to escape as well, so that's your turn done. I think next was Runo.
Okay. While everything was going on with Dwale and Rosie continued to nibble on the rope. And I assume when the Dark Army arrived and hell break loose, he would continue to nibble faster if he could. And you also wanna, like, can I prepare an action?
Possibly. Hang on, I'm just looking at your character sheet for what the hell we're going to get you to roll for nibbling speed.
Strength, I guess.
Yeah, I guess, but hang on a minute, what is a mouse's strength?
1.
As strong as the road.
Half.
It's as strong as you believe in it.
Yeah.
You believe in that mouse, and that mouse can do it.
Rune is a little mouse that could.
You ever seen
Little
Stuart
mouse
Little?
that could.
No,
Stuart Little?
Just a
Stuart
question.
Little.
Is he tied up with his legs and arms? I guess.
Sorry, say again.
I guess he's tied up both his legs and arms.
Yeah, he's trussed on this thing like a spit. They're getting ready to cook him.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna start with the legs, but yeah.
Next closest thing. Could you please roll? Oh my god.
Minus 15.
I don't even know how low that is. I actually need to look it up.
What? Are you serious?
Their strength is 2. So what I'll do is I'll just change this to 2 for a second.
Minus 7.
Minus 4. Could you please roll me a 1d20 minus 4?
Of course.
Better hope you get like a crit.
Oh, 1d20 minus 4. I'm gonna copy that if I fail. It's a 2!
So you nibble away at the ropes and like, you know, when like a few chords sort of going ding, ding, but you don't get all the way through.
Okay, Runa is just gonna say, fuck it, and turn back to human, make a fire and burn the ropes, and he's probably gonna take some
Potentially
damage.
burn his best friend.
Okay, so we've got a lot going on there. We'll take you turning back human as the bonus action, and then we'll carry on from there next turn.
Sure.
As it is the barbarian's turn, and they've just seen a human appear next to their nice meal. But they've also just seen the Dark Army slaughter a lot of their friends, and yeah. So one of them stands holding Volta's greatsword and charges at the large, past all of you, and goes for the guy who burnt someone immediately. As he swings, though, he just like the figure in armor literally blocks the blade with his hand and just turns it to the ground.
Oh my god, we're gonna die. Again!
And
We need to go with the Emmett Bowl.
the barbarians attack the Dark Army, not killing any, but injuring them. Volta.
Yeah.
About 6 feet from you is someone badly wielding your sword.
Ooh.
Badly.
He's not gonna do that for long. I wanna hit them and take my sword.
It's like they're trying to play golf with it.
Just give me an athletics check. What we'll do is we'll just have you charge into him and try and grab the sword and wrench it off him.
Oh, I was thinking I hit him first.
Oh my god.
My plan was to hit him, then get the sword, but okay.
You can throw in an attack as well if you want. You've got unarmed attacks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll beat his armor class. So yeah, you sort of like charge into him. He keeps hold of the sword, but you sort of like uppercut him in the face, and he's like, crikey, and he'll have disadvantage on his next saving throw.
Oh, can I use my attack twice?
Go for it. Yeah, 21 definitely hits, and a 7 will stun him. And do you know what? I'll let you take your sword. You can just pull it out of his hands.
Oh, yeah.
I assume this looks pretty cool.
Yeah. This is art worthy, I think. Back to the top of the round. Rosie Riversend, your attacker hasn't dropped you, but seeing the commotion and a lot of his friends dying, he started pulling you over to one side out of the way.
Men that's
Okay.
jättelovligt.
Am I near my weapon? Or anything at all? Or...
My weapon?
There is an axe at his belt, and a successful sleight of hand check might allow you to pick it from him. If you want to do that.
Yes.
You could also try and escape.
Nope. Doesn't move me now.
Chop his leg. Oh, yeah.
Oh, so you fumble that axe out of his pocket, and you will have it for your next turn.
Okay.
The Dark Army.
Just
Not
the
away.
Dark Army.
It's just
So-
the fact that there's that many of them.
The person that you have punched to the ground, well, not to the ground, but sort of one knee. The giant figure literally just takes almost like a taloned like gauntlet, like it's a large metal glove with pointed fingers. He grips the guy's shoulder, piercing it and crushing it, and just throws him over his shoulder. And this guy's out of the fight. And then he sort of like slowly draws his own sword from his belt and stares you down, Volta.
Okay then.
I'm not going to give an intimidation roll or anything, but you know,
Yeah.
he means business.
Yep.
The rest of the Dark Army rush in. One of them attacks your captor, Dwale,
Right.
giving you an advantage on your next athletics check.
You know it.
And another 3 orcs are quickly slain.
Whoops. So that's 11 left.
Dwale.
Athletics, here we go.
Do it, Giggles, do it. I believe in you.
I want to break free.
Yeah.
God damn it. I
Oh, wow.
Ah!
Adam, I don't think you've rolled like under
I'm a
17.
barbarian.
I know, it's
I
great.
call hack.
Six.
Runo,
It's my turn.
it is your turn. You may do all of the magical things you wanted to do.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Rune is just gonna try to burn the rope, and he's concerned about speed and not like
Foedal.
not hurting the friend.
Yeah.
He's still kind of mad at him, so he's just like he's just gonna burn the rope as quickly as possible.
And whilst you're doing this, Foedal sort of leans in and says, Runo, mate, you don't understand. You don't understand. I can explain everything.
Bitch slap.
He doesn't answer. He's pissed as fuck, and just burns the rope.
This is like the first
And
time we've seen
I-
him really angry.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Not the first time he's not a shield dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rosie's sort of like, oh hell no.
Oh,
But
shit.
I just wanna add, like, he's probably just Bruno just teleported like behind him, like that.
Yeah.
He,
Like a bad.
He's yeah, he doesn't know what the fuck's going on, but at the same time, even if this is delirium, he just wants it. You can see, if you were to insight check him, you'd see earnesty in his eyes, like he genuinely believes he can explain all this away.
The orc and Dwale. The
well,
Well,
Bruno doesn't look into his eyes.
Okay, there you go then.
He,
You don't
Well,
care.
if you could imagine like fire almost coming out of Bruno's eyes, it's just
yeah.
like,
Yeah, like suddenly you didn't need to shave that beard because now it's just burning away.
oh no, his beautiful beard.
Dwale plus the orc that's holding her, both like.
Like,
Even the orc's like, oh shit.
I don't want to be that one.
yeah. Also, did I burn through the rope?
Yes, that with the application of fire and the willingness to hurt Foedal, you burn the ropes quickly, and you scar his wrist with a probably like a burn quickly develops. Like, you know, when you touch an oven, he's got that sort of
Oh,
burn.
yeah.
Yeah.
Don't
This
ask.
is right. Okay. Do I have another action, or was that my turn?
You have a bonus action left. You could transform again.
Don't you do it.
I'm actually gonna. He was naked, you said.
Pretty much. Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna give him my like. I imagine my robe of flight is just like a. Like I just pull it on. It doesn't have any buttons or to it.
No, not really. It's just a hood and some sleeves.
Can I just throw it at him and then run into the fight?
Into the fight. Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Yeah, so
Don't
he throws
wanna
the
save us?
robe at him and then.
Yeah. Okay. So Okay. Yeah. That's perfect. So he'll we'll add Foedal to this shenanigan. He will go just before Runo from now on, which fits perfectly. From now on, he'll go just before you do. Perfect. So next up was
Trying to explain self-doing it right.
yeah, was the barbarian orcs.
Yep.
Rosie and Dwale, you're both being dragged off to a corner. As you get closer, though, you can see it actually opens out to another passage. But it's sort of hidden from the inner room. The orcs return fire on the Dark Army. They probably managed to kill a tiefling. Like, one tiefling takes like a axe that's thrown across the room in the neck, and he sort of goes down. But that's about it, really. They're definitely fighting superior forces. At this point, Rosie, you'll notice someone carrying Volta's hammer nearby. You'll see Dwale's maul in the weapon rack, cast aside because it's a bit of a shit weapon. And it's literally just a stick with a rock on it. You see many daggers, but you're not sure if it's the one with.
But it's the one Benjamin gave me, or I took it from him.
I'm pretty sure you stole that.
No, I didn't. I asked about a weapon, and I think he gave it to me. So it was
yeah, you borrowed it.
First stealth mission.
I
I
can
borrowed it.
Yeah.
And
And
all of our
you can also see where the creature was burned up. There is now a pile of ash with your bow untouched by the flames next to it.
I make a run for it. I've got my.
You are still in grappled conditions.
Remember my mission, guys.
And so then we go down to Volta again. Volta.
Oh, hang on. What can I?
Oh, you can have a go next to go, baby. I'm just telling you what you can see as you're being dragged.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry.
So Volta, you are far enough away from this person that if you don't want to engage him, you don't have to. But if you want to, by all means.
Well, I kind of want to say my friends first.
Thank you.
Yeah. So you there is room for you to run away from him.
Did you hear what I'm going to say? My friends first from captivity.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So
how far off are they?
Oh, they're within range of an attack. If you wanted to run in an attack, Rosie is the closest. She's still grappled, and Dwale is sort of more towards the center.
I would say she's not grappled anymore.
Sorry.
I would say she's not grappled anymore.
Who? Rosie?
She
Oh.
rolled 23.
Oh yeah. Okay. So you basically come up and you like literally hack into this guy's back. And he sort of like does that yelping thing of like people who have been hit in the back where they sort of like
That's a specific noise.
Oh yeah, if someone gets caught across the back, that noise.
You sort of it takes your breath away, quite literally.
Yeah, and as he does that, his arms sort of spring open, and Rosie, you are free.
Huzzah!
Like, can I make a sprint towards the weapons?
It's not your turn.
Actually, after you, it is if you're finished.
Well, the thing, do I got a second attack?
What level are you? Level 5. Yeah, you have a second attack. This guy's still standing in front of you, and he's now in sort of like a shocked position, so you can even have advantage on that attack.
Can I save Gigas as well?
You would forsake your second attack if you move away from him, and give him an opportunity attack.
I will slash him down.
A 21, so yeah, like literally, as your first slash sort of like... Yeah, like as your first slash like goes across his back and like opens him out like, and he sort of turns to look at what's happened. As he turns, you just smash your sword into his face and take half of it off, and he is down. And now, Rosie,
I run for the weapons. I like still got the axe like
Your
drawn.
bow.
Like, you know.
which weapons?
The bow.
I guess.
The bow is the furthest from you. It's also the furthest
Okay.
from the passageway that you've been revealed.
Okay, so what's closest?
Well,
My club, I think you said.
yeah. Your Volta's hammer is just literally going past the two of you towards the Dark Army, so it's probably maybe 6 feet behind Volta. I'd probably say Volta can handle that himself if he doesn't want to save
okay.
Dwale.
Okay, so what's the others?
The maul is the next closest in the weapon rack, and then
Can I grab the maul and throw it towards Dwale? Like almost slide it.
Make me a
Yes,
strength. Make me
I
a
can
strength check.
Definitely catch that. Thank you, Rosie.
Make
My
me a
arm
strength
got
check
huge.
because
Wow.
you're not used to throwing this sort of weight weapon. So make me a
Oh,
strength
you're
check.
not.
Hang on, do I want to do that though? Because otherwise I could just throw it right into the hands of another orc.
Or right to the whale's face.
You can knock me out.
I
Yeah.
might leave it. I'm gonna run for my bow. I'm gonna run for my bow.
You can get to the bow easily.
Yeah, I'll run for my bow.
You still have 2 actions.
As you
Have I got
run,
the
you
bow?
hear me go, bitch!
Have I got the bow?
You have the bow.
Okay.
You got the arrows
Is
though.
anyone being attacked? Any of our main group being attacked? Still.
Well,
Dwale's
Dwale
free.
is being. Dwale is. So, like, what's happened is. Basically, it looked like Volta and the big guy were going to have a great big face off, and then he came and freed you. Runo freed Foedal, and then in a blind rage just started running towards the orcs and. The orcs and Dark Army. And Dwale is still just being, like, snuggled by this orc. Like.
I take my bow and I aim it for the orc's eye, and
With what?
with my bow.
With what arrows?
Have I not got arrows?
Well, duh. do you
Everything
think
else
I
was
should
burnt to a
come
crisp.
with it?
Well, I thought the arrows might survive. They're kind of holy, right? Okay, right. Are there any arrows around at all?
There is an arrow just out of range.
Okay. Well, I've got the bow on my back, and I launched this tiny little hand axe at the head of this orc.
Oh my god, you're gonna kill me.
It's alright. We've done it before. We know you come back.
Now I'm gonna say, make me a dexterity check, but do it without proficiency.
How do I do that?
Good question.
Just do a saving throw with it.
Just can't you just uncheck your proficiency in dexterity and then click it?
That's Runo. That's why you don't have.
Just uncheck the box, right? And then roll?
The saving throw is the same as a normal
Because
throw.
it's
in which
because
you
the
just
tick
click it.
because the tick box next
There you go.
to
You can just literally tick dexterity.
See?
You
I
can
can
just
tick
no. You can just hit rather than hitting the saving throw. You can just click on dexterity.
Okay.
That's what I said.
Hell yes.
So as a 20, what are you trying to do again? Throw the
I'm
axe.
throwing the axe to
That was
hit
it.
the orc and drop Dwale.
Roll me. I think it's 1d6 for damage on an axe, plus your dexterity.
That's 4.
Yeah, not too shabby.
Beautiful.
Highest you could get.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yarp.
Now,
Yarp.
obviously, axe is not quite as fast as an arrow.
Not
The
really.
orc sees it coming.
I got a natural 20.
Don't hold me up! Don't hold me up as a
It wasn't.
shield.
That's a dirty 20. That's a dirty 20.
It was
He
not
makes an
cool.
athletics check to try and hold Dwale in the way. Can you please roll an athletics check and beat 21, Dwale?
God,
Can't you even do that?
Is that even possible?
That's not 20.
Oh, so close.
Wow.
So close.
Well, at least Foedal's gonna find out I'm dead when it impales me in the chest, and I go,
No,
ow!
it hits you in the shoulder.
I can't believe I've killed you a second time.
I just look at you, I'm like, you shit! I told you not to do that!
It wasn't me. You didn't say anything. Like I'm shouting
With
at her.
my eyes!
Do you want my help?
No, I don't!
Well then, don't have it. And I literally go off to find an arrow.
And with this,
Ow.
yeah. Okay. So next up is the barbarians, and you're being dragged further towards that passageway now with an axe in you as well. He doesn't seem to mind. Like, you know, he can still eat something with a bit of an axe wound. That's okay. That's normal.
So
Tenderized.
energetic!
So he.
Tenderized.
The rest of the barbarians are still
It's
attacking.
not the barbarians, rather
Oh
than
no, it's not. It's the Dark Army. You're very right. My bad. So,
We could have
I'm
been.
trying to save you, Giga. For fuck's sake, come down.
Would you be quiet?
so the Dark Army, they carry on slaughtering the barbarians. There's another 4 down now. There's not many left actually. In fact, the room's getting a bit sparse, and there's still 29 Dark Army.
I got a bad feeling.
It's all gonna go wrong.
I can't wait to show you guys what the afterlife looks like. It's amazing. There's a ladder. It's really pretty.
Wait, I remember a few episodes that you said you'd been to the other side and there's literally nothing there. I recall you said
I was being really...
Guys, we're arguing this while everyone's dying.
Dwale, please make me another athletics check to be free if that's what you want to do. At disadvantage, because one of your arms is now impaled with an axe.
Yeah, thanks.
Look, I won't help in future because it's quite clearly not
We
helping.
only need to go one scale. Damn your roller graphics.
I know, my rolls have been great. This has been awesome.
My rolls have been shit. I'm a barbarian. I've got +6 in strength. I'm really fucking 8s.
So next up then. It would normally be Runo,
no.
but this time it's Foedal.
Fine.
Foedal sort of tosses this robe on really shabbily. In fact, he doesn't even toss it on. He just sort of like ties it around his waist for decency's sake, and runs over towards the orc holding Dwale. On the way, he picks up a fallen like a mallet, like not even a hatchet, not even like a workman's hammer, and he runs over and strikes the orc. He hits it, and he uses his bardic inspiration to inspire himself, doing 8 damage, and the orc drops you.
Ow. Just on the floor with a axe and... Ow.
Foedal catches you before you fall.
How romantic.
No.
I should be.
No.
That ship.
I'm giving him the biggest glare of my entire life.
And his eyes are just saying, "I'm so sorry."
You can't, and you realize he's only in like robes, kind of, you know.
Yeah. What?
Drop me.
So what was your first I mean, next up, Runo.
Okay, Runo was actually gonna run and help Dwale, but you know, he
She
got it
still
covered.
needs help.
That orc is still up. He's only dropped her.
Okay, Runo turns into bear
Nice.
and jumps him.
Curse out from behind you like.
Enter
wanna-
Bramble. Bramble's in the room.
You hear, from behind you, off in the corner, you just hear, "Fuck's sake!"
Runo gives you the finger as a bear.
Oh, Runo is pissed. Ow!
Just this bear going.
Sorry, do that again. I didn't have the zoom
There's
on.
just bear going.
Yeah, yeah. Runo is like,
Draw that.
So what are you doing, Bramble Runo?
yeah, he's gonna jump the orc.
Indeed. Let me just remind myself of the bear.
Not gonna go well. Like,
Bear Brown. Are you doing a full attack or just like
Full
a
attack.
full-
Full attack.
Runo is mad.
Then I would like 2 claws, 2 claw attacks, which is 1d20 plus 11 each.
Oh my god!
Was it 2?
Yeah, two lots of 1d20 plus 11. So do it as 2 separate ones.
Yeah. Sorry.
And then in there as well is a bite, which is also 1d20 plus 6.
That's a question mark. Why do I get a question mark? There. Plus.
6.
No, wait. Stop writing. You can't see what I'm writing when I get like messages from Discord. +6.
Boom. So then, can you do me the first swipe? You miss with the second swipe, but the bite like bears down on him. Yeah.
Pun intended.
Can you do me 1d8 plus 8's worth of damage for the swipe? And 2d6 plus 4 for the bite.
1d8 plus
8. And then 2d6 plus 4, I think. Yeah, 2d6 plus 4. So, those both hit, they do a lot of damage. Do you want to describe how you rip this orc apart?
Absolutely. I sort of jump him on the shoulder so he falls down, and then Bruno put his claws through the face, and then he aims with the bite for the throat and slits it.
Oh, you don't slit it, you maul it, you savage that thing.
Yeah.
And basically it's a half hanging off. And yeah, Dwale, you've seen this whole thing. You've basically just seen your pet bear savage an orc.
And yeah, with the scar around my neck, I'm just like.
You'll also remember the tarot card. The bear with its neck sliced. Yeah. Next up. So let's see. All of you are now free. You are all away from the Dark Army. There are about 6 barbarians left, holding them. One of them has Volta's hammer, the Hammer of Light. But Volta does have a double-handed sword. Would you like to flee, or would you like to stay?
I would say we kind of need that hammer.
Yeah, that's true.
How are we able to flee, is my question.
The passageway. The passageway that Rosie and Dwale have potentially
Well, no, I'm right next to.
Okay. Is the orc with the hammer on the way to that from me?
No.
No.
He is in the opposite direction.
Okay.
Although only about 6
You said
feet.
6 feet.
6 feet, yeah.
That's fine.
About 2 meters.
It is his turn though.
It is. It is indeed. But they are fully engaged with the Dark Army. They're trying to take one out. Maybe they kill another orc, so there's now 28. Yay.
Yay.
Yeah, but the hammer is not shining like it normally does.
No. Of course not.
Of course.
He's not the guardian of light.
So now it'll be your turn, Volta.
I want to get my hammer. It's my hammer. It's nothing like this. Others like this hammer, but this one is mine. I will chop his head off.
Oh yeah, you do. We just take the 8 for that.
Yeah.
But you do again because he's got his back to you. Actually, no, sorry, because he's got his back to you. I'll give you advantage. You can do the full damage.
Yeah.
You pretty much just slash the shit out of him. And he's gonna go down pretty quickly. He might not be dead, but he's certainly out of the fight. And he sort of drops the hammer.
Can I pick up the hammer as my second attack?
You can.
I shall do it.
As you pick up the hammer, it shines brightly, lighting the whole cavern up, and making the Dark Army recoil for a second in shock.
Ahaha. Fuck you, bitches.
Now, party. Would you like to
Party.
flee?
Are there any arrows on the way? Otherwise, I still have no weapon because I couldn't find my dagger either.
Well, yeah, and you threw away an axe, didn't you?
Yeah.
You could pick up that axe on the way through. It's still lodged in Dwale's shoulder.
Is it actually?
Oh my gosh.
That is
Okay.
so rude.
Otherwise, I don't have a weapon.
Oh
You do need
no!
a weapon.
What a shame! What
You
haven't
asked for
you
help.
do? Yeah, that wasn't fucking help, Rosie.
I tried.
Yeah,
the
you did very
the
well.
thought was there. Is like my dagger around at all, or is it just not?
You can't see it. That's a
Okay.
very pocketable weapon. The only weapons you notice on the rack are like the bigger, heavier ones, like Dwale's Maul, which is definitely, it's not far from the thing, so you can definitely pick that up.
Can I grab Dwale's Maul, please?
Yes.
Okay, I grab it and I run towards Dwale.
And Foedal, Dwale, make me a strength saving throw. There, a strength saving throw.
Oh, now I get the good rolls.
Now, Foedal's going to try and valiantly lift you out of the cavern, but you have plenty enough strength to stop him should you like to.
She would like to. That's look.
No, you know what? Wait, lift me out of the cavern. What does he mean?
Like,
Take on his shoulder and carry out.
no, not over the shoulder. He caught you with his right arm, so he's looking to put his left arm under your legs and carry you out, like, you know.
Gone with the wind
no.
this time.
Yeah.
Hell no!
You know what? I've had such shit rolls today. Fuck it. He can do it. I'm just gonna sit
I did
here.
not think you would do
I
that.
am just gonna sit here and sulk. I'm done.
That's absolutely brilliant.
I'm guessing I'm following them then, because I was running towards Dwale, so I'm assuming that means I just run after. Yeah, both of them.
So you guys are now running down this, it's going downwards, this tunnel.
Okay.
Okay.
So I don't get attacked in the back while I'm running.
No, you make a clean getaway. You shocked them with the light, and it gave you a chance to get away.
Can I pass Dwale her Maul?
You can. Do you want to dislodge the axe? Like,
Ow.
Yes, please.
Foedal hasn't yet, but, you know.
Ow.
Yeah.
He's sort of got his arms full as well, so.
I'm sort of like, look, I know.
You make the swap.
Like, the past isn't helping us here, and I'm really.
I'm so because obviously he's quite tall. I'm glaring down at Rosie like, just, and I actually in a way I actually get the axe from my shoulder and I just with it because I guess because it's. Is it quite deep in there?
Oh yeah. She got
So
a
would
nat
I-
a nat crit on the damage roll. It's deep in there.
With a sickening crunch and a twist, I just fucking wrench it out and I just hand it to her. I'm like, there you go.
She's
And Foedal sort of looks at you like, I thought you were so delicate.
And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, I sort of look at him as if he's. I don't like him anymore, but like, I look at him
I'm
like.
not saying a word to him.
Runo is still a bear when he's running.
Oh yeah, he is. And Foedal keeps looking at the bear with like wide-eyed shock, and then like going back to Dwale, like just get Dwale out, just get Dwale out. Then looking at the bear like, and then
tries to catch up with Runo.
yeah, no, you guys sort of group up and you can make your way down the
If it wouldn't been so awesome
And I
if
sit
Rosie
on
jumped up
Bruno's
on the
back.
back of it. Bruno.
If she wanna jump up to a raging bear, then be my
No, not really, but I feel for
I
future.
lose the fact it's a friendly bear, so it's big, so I would say it shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, I just keep running. I follow.
So you guys sort of make your way down this twisting, turning tunnel, and the sounds of battle behind you sort of slow and stop, and you can't really hear them anymore. Soon you come to a fork in the road. One leads up, there's a light at the end. The other leads left. It goes straight on.
I say left.
Left.
Going straight on?
Yes.
Well, we're in the Badlands. If we come up, who knows where the hell we'll be.
Exactly. We don't know what's out there. There's more Dark Army, if anything. The other orcs were underground for a reason. However, that could also mean the Drake is down here.
Okay, so you run further down this straight tunnel, and after a while, it looks like the tunnel stops. But then, those of you with dark vision, it doesn't look like it stops.
Wait, no, me? No, it's not me.
It's it's the
Rosie stops because she hasn't got that. She's like,
I don't
it's a
have
dead
it.
end. What do we do?
it's not a dead
I
end.
I just run past them and
You've got to the last torch.
I pick up the torch. And I just keep on running. And I use my hammer as well as light.
Oh yeah, of course. So as you're using your hammer as light, you can make your way further down. But you can tell the distinction here in your mind is that this is no longer their regular passageways.
Yeah.
Okay. Rosie sticks quite close to Volta, like she can't see. So.
We slow down, or are we still running?
I would say we did slow down a little bit. At least. Not running, baby, but jogging at least. Not gonna walk.
Just jogging in silence?
Yes.
Foedal is.
I'm not saying shit. I am sat there like, absolutely.
Kind of want to hear people come out from behind, I would say. So.
I want to sort of have my ears open, ready to listen. So.
Yeah. Exactly.
Bruno is looking at Foedal.
Although our
Every now
armor
and
would
again.
be thinking away.
I don't trust
They're
Foedal.
using as well. The music changed. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
No, not hallelujah. This sounds worse. Oh.
After a while, you guys find a clearing.
We should have gone up.
There's a small, like, campfire, old campfire here, with some rocks around. It could be a good place to make rest. You've been running and injured for hours.
Make a rest place, yes, please.
I want to look around before we sit here because there's no one here for a reason, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Can I...
We're gonna scout before we do it.
Yeah.
Make it possible, anyways.
If we stay, Bruno's gonna have a moment now.
So you've gone really quiet again, Bruno.
Sorry. Gonna turn my...
Turn the music down a little bit.
You can do it on your own.
You could do that on yours as well.
Oh, I'm done.
Oh yeah. Ah!
I'm not gonna say it, Giggles, but...
Okay.
Ass.
Better?
As
Rosie sort of scout around a bit.
indeed.
Yeah, Bruno, he... Oh, sorry, do you wanna take Rosie first?
Yeah, it can do. As you scan around, you can find some old
With
old.
me and Rosie comes around.
You can find some old skeletons around. They are humanoid.
Okay.
They still have gold on them. One of them has a water skin, which is full, but the water smells very old.
I take the gold.
Okay.
And I take the water, even though it smells old.
And there is an old broken bow and some arrows on one of the skeletons.
I
Oh,
grab the arrows and
Yeah.
fix them onto my
This is
back.
my arrow.
You have 3
3!
arrows.
2 if you miss.
Quick, man.
Okay, is there anything else? Like, when I look up at the ceiling, can I see anything?
No, this just looks like a place where adventurers maybe once used to hide out.
Okay. She heads back to the group and she's like, guys, I think we do need to stop and rest here. However, I don't suggest lighting a fire. We don't
not
want
for
to
long.
draw any
The thing is...
attention to ourselves, and there are skeletons,
Yeah,
and I think they're there for a reason.
essentially, yeah. We got
Do
nothing to
we
eat
keep
anyway, so...
moving?
Maybe we could use a rest so we can keep moving.
Yeah, you guys are probably starting to feel the first effects of exhaustion. It's not been comfortable when you were under the poison, and you don't know how long you were out, and you can sort of feel this bone-wearying tiredness in you.
Okay.
Except maybe for Runo, who is really raging,
Yeah.
and that's almost a perfect cue, Runo.
Oh, great. Yeah. Bruno, still as a bear, walks towards Foedal and stare at him, and Bruno transform back into human in front of him.
And he pretty much unceremoniously drops Dwale.
grabs. Oh, he doesn't have any clothes, right? So he can't grab. Okay. Runa push him to the wall hard.
Yep. You hear a slight crack as his head hits the wall.
Ouch. That's hard.
Okay. How long?
He can't meet.
How long?
He can't meet your eye. He looks to the ground.
How long have you planned this?
I didn't plan this.
How long have you worked with them?
They really do have my family. My mother, she really is in the east. But she's not east of Foxglove. They hold her in the Badlands. I get to see her once a year. If I just follow their instructions.
How long have we been out?
About a week.
A week? A week? How far into the Badlands are we?
The mountains looked distant when you were outside.
Rosie just sort of moves off and sort of leaves it to Runa again.
What were you thinking? You were the only person I actually trusted. And you blew that.
And there's like tears in his eyes. And he's looking at you like, I know.
You
They
know,
had my family.
I told you literally everything on the way here. Nothing stopped you from doing the same.
I needed you to tell me everything.
This does not help your position.
And he just sort of goes quiet, looks at the ground and says, I know. And he's just got nothing to say for himself. And you just start to see a few tears fall from his face.
Bruno walks away. He got nothing else to say.
Rosie sort of, like, hold Runo's arm and sort of just pat it or, like, squeeze as he walks past just to be like, no, it's alright, but yeah.
Yeah.
I sort of stand to my feet and I'm just sort of cradling the shoulder that's sort of half off because it's absolutely flesh just split in two.
I should
And
not be allowed
I
that
am,
other
I
half.
am looking anywhere but the half elf and I'm just like, right. Well.
Interesting point of fact, now you mention your wound. Started to close up.
Easy.
Nice.
Well, that's handy, because that's going to change what I was about to say. I probably just stand and I just go, well, if you got us here, then you're getting us out. You are taking us out of here, whether you like it or not.
But
No. No, you don't even try to say anything.
I have to try and make good by my mother. He looks up to you, his tears streaming down his face. They've been holding her for so long. I have to try and save her. Now I've blown it. I've blown it with the Dark Army by losing you. Now they'll think I'm working with you. I have to try and save her.
Good luck with that.
Where is she? Do you know?
The mountain. The mountain
There's
to the
a lot out there.
to the east.
Which one?
To the east. They threaten
There's
to
another one.
they threaten to turn her if I don't. If that's their first threat, turn and then death.
Isn't that the same thing?
And he looks at Volta with shock. Like, no, you can turn people back.
How?
Exactly.
Holy magic.
Oh,
How specifically? How do you know this?
Well,
Spit it out.
in the
No
times
time to be coy.
of the previous champion, Duncan, his magic axe. Come on, this is a famous story. His magic axe used to turn away evil. That's not just him defeating armies. He used to bring people back.
I never heard about
And there's
that.
proof of this. This isn't just a story.
I can't prove it here. I believe it though. If you want to insight check him, you can.
Okay.
Well, we'll do that.
15.
Come on.
That's a crit. That's a crit. That's a 20 crit plus 4.
Okay, so Rosie and Volta, you think that he is telling the truth.
Okay.
Runo, you've known Foedal for a long time. You know that every word he's said is true. He really didn't think he had a choice.
As he knows.
As far as he knows, he hasn't had a choice in any of this. And we're going to pan away from the group there.
Okay.
Here comes Steve.
Outside the cave where you entered,
You would treat me right.
the
You would.
the large armored man is standing, wiping down his sword blade, and a tiefling comes up to him and says, "Sorry, my liege. We did not manage to find them in the caves. They must have... I have failed you." And he turns to them and says, "No. Everything is going to plan."
Obviously.
And that is where we're going to cut
Adam,
for this week.
Go to your room. Go to your room.
I will pay you all to stay up so that we continue this fucking game.
Wait, no, I'm stuck.
No, we can't end now, please. No.
You mean it's gone to plan? Tell me.
We all fuck now.
Ah.
Oh, I fucking hate you.
And we all know that there's 2 giggles.
So, why don't we go round the crew in reverse order this time?
Oh no.
Hatred, general hatred. That's the emotion I go for when playing these games.
Adam, I don't hate you. I despise you.
So, Runo, how did you find that session? We saw some emotions out of Runo that we have not seen
I
before.
really liked that. We saw angry Bruno.
Yeah.
I loved
Character
it.
development. Yeah, love those. Yeah, it was. I kind of like. Kind of. You hinted at it, like, oh, my best friend is back, and he got a black cape. Oh, he brought us to the trap. But you know, I just kept on like, okay, Bruno is just gonna be delighted to see him again. He's like his old buddy. It's gonna be great, just like old times. So, like, he trusts this person with his life, and that's just what happened.
He took your life.
just because it makes sense for his backstory and everything. So yeah, he's like the one person that didn't treat him like dirt, the one person that was his companion, like he was the only one that looked at him not as a monster, and he put a dagger in Bruno's back like that.
Oh, not just a dagger. You told him everything. Remember the tarot card?
Yeah.
I showed you exactly what was going to happen. Like,
Yeah.
So,
down to the outfit he was wearing.
Yeah,
Like-
the joke figure is
Yeah. So yeah, that's a thing that happened. It's called role playing. So yeah, Runo is like, oh, this one person in the entire world that I can trust. I can no longer trust him. Like he's mad. He's gonna be grumpy.
And how about you, Ambly? Where can we find you on the internet? And I'm putting your Instagram in chat now, but
Oh, thank you.
do you wanna-
can
Oh, I
find
love
me-
it.
do you want to tell us a little bit about? I mean, on Ambly's Instagram, you'll see some of the artwork she's done for us. She's done the map
She's
for
so
us.
amazing.
She's doing the
It
tarot
is so
cards. They're still a
good.
work in progress, but there's
She's
so much
great.
going on over there.
Yeah, the cards are like on a serious halt right now, just because of jobs.
Oh yeah, of
and
course,
She's
of course.
so talented.
So hopefully we will have an image on everyone, so approximately how they look like, and I did artwork on Runo that you can find on my Instagram, Art
Oh, I
Emily,
love
I
that
think,
one.
where you can see how he's extremely fabulous. Love him, really fun to draw, and yeah, I think that's where you can find me. You can find me on ArtStation as well.
Feel free to post that link. I don't know that one.
Oh, I can post it.
Okay, so shall we
So
go? Oh, sorry.
I can do commissions too.
Yes, do it because they're so good.
I need money.
Commissions are open.
It's worth it.
I mean, if you were to make a Twitter as well, Ambly, that I could send a load of Twitter traffic your way.
Yeah, there is loads on there.
Yeah,
It's worth
the D&D and art like links on Twitter is it's
Massive.
strong. It's strong. So
Yeah, I should do that.
yeah. So Alice, then, how did you find that session?
Oh, well, I didn't think I'd be attacking Dwale for a second time. Feel a little bit bad about that. I really tried. Like, really, really tried. But, yeah, it was quite a tense session. But in a different way. Yes, there was fighting, but it was like, there was a lot of turmoil. But I liked it, even though at the same time I was like, no, but yeah. It was really good, and I already can't wait for like the next session because I just want to know what happens. So, like, how much is left of this? This is the problem. So, how much is left of the campaign? Because I sort of don't want it to end either. It's
Well, that's the thing. It won't end. At some point, I'll create a cliffhanger so awesome that I'll
That's the
decide to
break.
end the campaign there.
No,
yeah,
I would end you. I would end you.
But we come back with our characters like in future, right?
yeah.
Unless they die.
Only if
Andy,
like
don't give him ideas.
He's not
No,
a killing guy.
I don't want to die anymore, thank you.
She's died like
Just I told you he's not a killing guy. He's just a psychological killing guy.
This is true. I
psychopath.
like to evoke emotions. That's my thing. I
Oh,
might even make that my catchphrase, I think.
Let's evoke emotions.
Yeah, let's evoke emotions.
I sent my link to ArtStation now.
I'm gonna go and stalk her.
Lovely. And Ali, then. How you doing? Ali, you fell in love. And it was so sweet and cute.
No, it's so sweet. Okay, so I'll speak as how I was role playing Dwale, and then as I am me enjoying the RP D&D.
Mhm.
So as Dwale, it was so great because for the first time in like ever since this campaign, she was showing an emotion other than bitchiness and
Disdain.
and being grumpy and disdain. She was actually, because this is the thing with her, she's so unsure of what is left for her in the world now. She's like, you know, my mother's being possessed by this crazy demonic force. I've got no family. I don't know where I'm supposed to go. And I'm currently dead. There's nothing for me. And then obviously, bless he comes along and he's nice, and for the first time, and she allows herself to be a little bit happy, and kind of it almost gives a little bit of sort of like hope in her chest. Yeah, like a little gleam that okay, maybe there's good stuff on the way. And then of course that got shattered, didn't it? So she's
That's like a music.
Sorry, what?
Stop it.
Please, Mike?
Stop it. Right, no. She's just if she was angry before, now she's just downright absolutely enraged, lost her mind, angry. But it's like this cold, quiet anger that's just like bubbling under the surface, and all it's gonna take is just like one thing. She's gonna fucking break the nose.
Dwale should
very
team up.
Yeah, they fucking do it.
And I will
and
stand
then-
well behind.
and then really quickly just speaking as like me enjoying the D&D. I had to put my hand up and say I think this is the most enjoyable session I've had so far with this campaign.
Yay.
I really fucking love this. Like, in some ways, my brain was going, you know what's fucking about to happen. It's him going, this fucker going, like, earlier this week, like, oh, Ali, I've got so great things planned for next Monday. And I'm going, all right, okay. And so, in the back of my mind, I was like, I can tell what's about to fucking happen. But, it was...
You have to have it anyways.
He likes to torture us for a week.
Yeah.
Did you plan for Dwale and Foedal to fall in love?
I planned to relax you all. And it seemed the best way to do that was with... Actually, no, I've had two plans. I've had two plans, really. One was more of a dormant plan. My first plan this week was to relax you all, and I think I did that with middling success. Some of you were a bit cautious, especially when I started getting you to drink stuff. But my second
and
plan...
asked how much we drunk, we were like, oh...
Oh.
That was some strong poison.
Oh, yeah. And then my other thing was to try and get a reaction out of Runo. Like, we tried killing kids, nothing. We tried,
You got a lot of reaction out of Ali for that one.
we tried all sorts.
Hold on, wait.
You get a
fucking
reaction
second.
from Annie.
Hold on a fucking second.
Not Bruno.
This entire time, everything we've fucking been through has been to get a reaction out of Bruno. This is what it boils down to.
Ali's torture is to get a reaction out of Runo.
I don't know.
Oh god.
So this was actually just like, oh, let's get Runo to do something.
That's the only reason.
It's a good way to run.
That's the way to do it.
Well, hopefully I didn't disappoint you.
No, not at all. Not at all.
No, you're brilliant.
Where can we find you, Ali?
Here?
On the internet, I mean. Just here?
Every
Or...
Monday.
I'm here, waiting. No,
to be fair, you can also find Ali in the Discord. She often plays Overwatch with people. That's right.
I do. Yeah, I'm Ali on Discord. Hello. And I'm in his Discord channel. I play Overwatch. Not very well, but I play. I play a lot of other games. Like I play loads. Just ask. I said I'm on Discord mostly. I'm on Steam, but yeah.
How's your streaming going? You started streaming. How's that going?
I have not streamed for months, my friend.
Oh.
Because then my webcam was like, "No, I'm not gonna work," and I was like, "All right, you're a little shit." But no.
We'll give you a shout out anyway, just in case you want to start up again. Welcome. And lastly, but certainly not leastly, is Ed. Ed, how you doing, buddy?
I'm quite alright. I got the mood now.
Actually, it's true.
What giggles?
In that, Volta didn't take any damage. He gained both his weapons.
For once, he didn't take any damage.
Yeah, you done quite well.
I have an axe on my shoulder.
But you're
Yeah, but that's
fine.
me. I'm sorry. That's not even an enemy.
You're fine, giggles.
Like, I noticed you went very quiet in the first bit. I think maybe you suspected a trap more than the others.
I always suspect a trap. Well, the thing is, I'm tired as hell today because I'm only slept a half an hour tonight.
Oh, dude.
Luckily though, the machine broke down. Hydraulic pump failed, so I got home at 11.
Oh, okay.
At 12, I slept for 4 hours.
Nice.
Oh, you poor little munchkin.
Just shows how good I am at reading Ed's emotions as well. I'm like, oh, he's really cautious. He's really suspicious.
Yeah,
he's really...
no,
and Ed's
he's
just like
not.
actually asleep in the corner, like...
Well, I was suspicious, but...
He's got those special glasses that make him look like his eyes are open. But it's actually...
Scraps down at Pin into camera like, wow, this is amazing. Look at the emotions on
He's
Ed's
really
face.
into the role
And
play.
all Ed's doing is just...
Ed's actually snoring in the background.
Yeah.
No,
Really fun
I was
thing.
awake.
Well,
I
anyway,
do
you
snore
guys.
just when I fall asleep, so you should have heard it.
Oh.
I'm going to wrap up the stream there. If you're in Discord, I might play a little bit of Overwatch in a little bit. I actually want to do a little bit of prep for Wednesday night. Wednesday night we'll be running a Valentine's Day one-shot with Alice, Ali, Kiana S from the Encounter Roleplay team, and Alex, that you might have heard on Overwatch. So
Nice.
tune in for that if you can, and
And if you can't, do it anyways.
if you can't, yeah, send your friends to represent.
Cancel your plan.
Cancel everything. And yeah, I'm definitely gonna roll with this as yeah. Let's evoke
And
some
on
emotions.
Thursday,
Let's evoke some emotions.
No.
New catchphrase.
On Thursday.
evoke emotions.
Let's evoke emotions.
I
All right.
like that.
Good
I
night,
like that.
everyone.
I like that. You should keep that.
Yeah.